Hello and welcome back to the Hype Bulletin, hosted by yours truly, Ralph Mentor. Today's episode, I'll be reacting to a thrilling championship Sunday, where the Philadelphia Eagles surged past the Washington Commanders in the 55-23 game, where Saquon Barkley started the game with a 60-yard rushing touchdown and all, and then another 4-yard rushing touchdown and all. The Philadelphia Eagles ended up with 7 rushing touchdowns and all. I heard on PTI just now that they had the same amount of rushing touchdowns in this championship game than the Dallas Cowboys had all regular season all too as well. But shout out to the Philadelphia and Vic Fangio defense too as well. I think they forced another 5 turnovers on the Washington Commanders, similar to their Week 16 loss to the Commanders when they were on the road and all. And also we had the Kansas City Chiefs edge out a win against the Buffalo Bills. I know, JB, I know. Where Jay Allen had a chance to end the game and squash some demons and all, but unfortunately Kincaid missed the throw and all. There's a whole other things we'll get into it too as well. No, but Kansas City now is back in the Super Bowl, seeking their another championship and trying to be the first team in NFL history to go back-to-back wins in the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots went back-to-back Super Bowls, just won 2 out of 3 and all. So to help me react to both of these games and all, I got 2 special guests and all. First, I got an obnoxious gentleman I've had on the show to speak Celtics basketball after the 2024 championship season and all, and I'm sure he can't wait to talk about what happened Sunday night to the Bills and all, because he is part of Bills Mafia through marriage, as he has articulated to me and all. But please welcome Joshua Boraz, JB, to the show and all.
Hey guys, glad to be back on the show. Always love to be back on the show. Love the hype. Love to come on Vince Saiz's Good Morning Show. And you can catch that Good Morning Show literally anytime. That show it says Good Morning, but really it'll go all day. As long as Vince has friends to talk to, it'll go all day. And also part of whenever I can get there, the overall sports show with Andrew Jarrell Jones, where you can also catch these fine gentlemen, Ralph Mentor and Vince Saiz. I am excited to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles Commanders game because I felt like we didn't touch on it nearly enough yesterday.
Of course.
Well, no, I think there's a lot to talk about. I think that there's a lot to talk about in terms of RB1, Saquon Barkley, and RB2, Jalen Hurts, according to one Ralph Mentor. For those of you who are really interested in the Philadelphia Eagles, you should join the Vince Saiz Good Morning Show because at least today, admittedly, this is Tuesday. You might not. You'll probably hear this after the fact, but from what I hear, Chris Saiz, Vince Saiz's dad, who's a massive Eagles fan, is coming on the Good Morning Show. I've had the opportunity to...
right here, people, is why JB is obnoxious. I haven't had a chance to introduce the third guy now, but he's...
I've got him. I've got this part. I want to get to Vince Saiz's actual opinions. Who cares about... I'll do the intros. I can do it fast. But yeah, I'm excited to hear from Chris Saiz because all I've ever heard from Chris Saiz is through intermediaries every time Joel Embiid is missing. You know, Chris Saiz is there, but Joel Embiid isn't. And yeah, I'm excited to talk basketball. I'm excited to talk football. And I'm a little less excited to talk about the Bills. It seems like everybody's focusing on this Dalton Kincaid, could have been catch. But I rewatched this catch like 3 times. He's running towards the ball to get his fingers on it, and Josh Allen is running away from the pass rush to throw it. Now, could he have made the catch? Sure, right? But, the idea that, that's just a standard catch, right, that anybody can do that, that's nonsense. The whole thing is nonsense. We'll get more into it.
Yeah.
I know you've got to introduce Vince Saiz, but I'm ready to go. Ready to go this week.
Jeez, now as you...
Just to go quick, because everybody can hear Vince Saiz on X. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. Just all you got to do is show up on X.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, as you can see, I got a third special. As you can hear, I got a third special guest and all. As JB related to, host of the Vince Saiz Good Morning Show on Twitter Spaces every every day, Monday through Friday, basically and all. But Monday through Friday, not every day, just Monday through Friday. Man can go until the afternoon too, as well, even the evening and all too as well. No, but host of the Uncut Hours on Twitter Spaces. You can find that every Saturday, starting at 11 p.m., whenever Vince decides to start the show and all, too, as well. And host of the 265 Football Media Podcast Show and all, too, as well, which you can find sparingly on your podcast platforms because Vince be busy on the Twitter Spaces and all. But another obnoxious gentleman I want to introduce and all is Vince Saiz and all. Welcome to the show, Vince.
What's good, Ralph and JB? I'm trying not to cry and laugh because y'all are too funny. I miss you guys podcasting with you guys. You guys are very funny. But no, man. I appreciate the setup, man. I'm looking forward to the trade deadline, NBA trade deadline next Thursday. Me and you, Ralph, will host that on the Vince show, so on the Spaces. So that show will end at 5 p.m. because you know how the deadline is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to today's show. And real quick, I have an announcement to make. A WNBA reporter, Kevin Lewis, will be on my show this week because I want to ask him about Kelsey Plum, to LA Sparks. I'm actually curious about that because we needed a point guard, but I guess we needed Kelsey Plum, Rob. I mean, I wanted Olivia Miles, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what the LA Sparks. I don't know. But anyways, let's focus here. Let's focus on this football show. And obviously we can talk a little bit NBA, but I appreciate the invite, Ralph Mentor, because the last time me and you and JB podcasted, we argued about JB asked you, who would you rather have, Brian Dable or Brandon Staley or Nick Sirianni, about those questions right there. And that was fun. That was fun. And hey, yo, JB, shout out to you because maybe Joe Brady should have went to the Saints after the game, but we shall see.
Nick Sirianni with his what's his career record right now? I want to check that real quick since you brought that up. 48-20, 5-3 in the postseason. Okay, I guess we'll see. But let's get into it. We'll start with the first game that started on Sunday afternoon at 3:00, where I mentioned the Eagles. Oh wow, I got the wrong game up in here. Why would they give me the regular season game and all? My bad. One second. My bad.
You don't need the stats. You know what happened.
I know. I'm not sitting here memorizing stats from every game and all too as well. I just wanna inform everybody.
It's okay. I'll cover while Ralph.
No. It just Google finally saved me, and I'll give me a break.
Okay.
Just give me a break.
Right.
Give me 1 second. And again, the 55-23 win for the Philadelphia Eagles. And all Jalen Hurts had himself a 20-28 game, 246 yards and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, as I mentioned, had the first touchdown on the first play for the Eagles, and ended up having 118 yards and 3 touchdowns on 15 carries, if I can read and all. And A.J. Brown even showed out too as well with 6 receptions and 96 yards for a touchdown and all. Jane Daniels had himself a good game and all. Most of the turnovers for the Commanders, especially I believe the first 3 were fumbles and all, but he ended up having the 29-for-48 game for 255 yards, a touchdown and an interception and all, when the game to me was already over and all, and trying to make a play to Terry McLaurin and all, and Keon Mitchell made an interception all too as well. Jane Daniels led the team in rushing again with 6 carries, 46 yards and a touchdown. And Zach Ertz came out with a legacy game, at least. When we talk about his big playoff games for the Eagles back in 2017 with 11 receptions and 104 yards and all too as well. So I look at the game as turnovers for really costing the Commanders, at least, too as well. Talent really took over on this field too as well, if I'm being fair, with the Eagles and their O-line and the lanes that they created for Saquon Barkley throughout the game and all too as well. But to JB, at least, how did you see this game and how it played out, at least, and all too as well? It was a dominant performance from the Eagles and all too as well. So I can understand if you feel like it was just a pure command game for the Eagles, at least. But mind the pun, how do you think the Commanders lost this game and all? Do you think it was turnovers as well? Did you see anything else throughout this game and all that?
I mean,
big disadvantage.
Once upon a long, long time ago, there used to be an announcer named Phil Simms. Some of you might be old enough to remember Phil Simms. I'm old enough to remember Phil Simms. And he used to be partnered with Greg Gumbel on the CBS, whatever the CBS premiere game was. Him and Greg Gumbel would be on. And Phil Simms would. This is a regular routine, right? Greg Gumbel would set Phil Simms up the same way that Ralph Mentor just set me up. He would say, what did you see in the previous game? What did you see in the stats? And Phil Simms would go, we talked about it all week, and this is what ended up happening. I learned from that just because me and Ralph talked about it doesn't mean you were there, you the listener were there to hear, right? Now, in this case, Vince Saiz and me also talked about this game all week. Mm-hmm. But again, there are listeners of this podcast who were not privy to what we talked about. So I'm not going to start the conversation by saying we talked about it all week. As to what I thought was going to happen and what ended up happening. Instead, I'm going to tell you, the listener, that what I thought was going to happen and what I said on all the spaces that I was on was that I did not think that the Washington Commanders had a way to control the line of scrimmage without Sam Cosmi. I thought that Jalen Carter would be in the backfield all day, that they'd be getting pressure nonstop on Jaden Daniels. And aside from like a handful of throws, that played out, right? They were not able to stop Jalen Carter. They were not able to stop the Eagles defense and the Eagles pass rush because they weren't healthy. They weren't healthy on the offensive line. They didn't have their full blocking schemes. And what you saw was, pretty much what you thought coming into the season, right? You thought that Austin Eckler was going to be too old to be a running back one the way he was in the Los Angeles Chargers days. Lo and behold, turns out you were right. You thought that there would be pressure in the backfield because Sam Cosmi was injured, who was arguably their best offensive lineman. I don't think he was their best offensive lineman, but I certainly thought he was very good. And to just lose him on the on the week before the game was obviously a loss. No duh. And then on the other side of the ball, to lose Daron Payne on the evening of the game, the evening before the game, that also sucked when you're trying to guard running back one, Saquon Barkley, and when you're trying to guard running back two, Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, it absolutely played a role. Those injuries played a massive role in why the Eagles were able to dominate the line of scrimmage in this game versus the last game in which they won.
It's not like the Commanders were stopping the run or anything like that too, as well and all. They were gashed up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what's it called there? Who they just played? The Detroit Lions of running the football too, as well and all. When you just add the injuries that you were mentioning and all.
Well, losing Daron Payne is never going to help. I mean, that's you could have made a case before knowing what Jaden Daniels was, right? Before knowing what he was in the season. You could have made a case, a strong case, that the most solid part of the Washington Commanders was their defensive line, with Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne specifically in the defensive tackle position. So to lose half of that on the eve of the NFC Championship game, it's a loss. I know the person who really asked the question, and I'll pivot over to him in just a moment, is Vince Saiz. When Vince Saiz lost what's the Greenlaw? When they lost Greenlaw during the Super Bowl. Like, you lose a player like that, and the other team knows it, and in this case had a chance to prepare for it, and like, you can expect that they're going to take advantage of it. As far as Jaden Daniels goes, because I know you brought him up, and I know that you love him, I love him too. I think he is clearly the best quarterback out of this class. Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, they're fine. Jaden Daniels is a completely different level. I think you saw that in his ability to evade pressure and his ability to stand in the pocket. As long as he stays healthy, I think Commanders are set up on offense for a very long time. But when we start breaking down these NFC and AFC championship games and we start looking for these little edges, right? Mm-hmm. These little, like, here's an edge here, here's an edge there. Like, losing key members of your offensive and defensive line the week of the game is going to make a difference. And the Eagles took advantage of that difference. And we'll get more into the Eagles' performance. But throwing it to Vince Saiz really quickly, Vince, do you agree? Do you think that losing someone like Daron Payne on the eve of the Super Bowl is similar to losing Greenlaw like during the Super Bowl, or do you think that I'm making a wild, crazy?
I don't think you're wrong, because it happens the same way as to me 2 years ago with losing Brock, and then Josh Johnson and Kyle Juszczyk had to play quarterback or CMC. So I mean. So listen, I'll recounter with this. And listen, Commander fans, I feel your pain, right? I mean, I lost to Philadelphia as well in Philadelphia. So, I mean, listen, I am with you though. The turnovers won the Eagles the game. I mean, if you had that many turnovers, I was talking to JB before the game too. Like, bro, when you lose to Daron Payne, and I saw the money line was -6, that should have been it should have turned. That money line should have been, that -6 should have been up, because I'm surprised it didn't go up. But anyways, but yeah, man, you can tell Ralph and JB like they missed Daron Payne, because when I saw Barkley run, I was like, yeah, this game's gonna be a wrap.
The lanes were ridiculous, especially on that first run and all.
And real quick, I was telling JB, which K do you believe in? Clinsbury or Kellen Moore? Well, so far, Kellen Moore is looking smart. So far, however, my only thing I got mad about is, see, I respect the Commanders for going for it for fourth down. But I'm like, bro, go for fourth down again, because I get it. Take the points. But, bro, the fourth down was working. Getting down there and his legs were working. Go for it. But, again, I get it. Get the points. It is what it is. But the only thing I can just say is, Ralph, is, listen, man, I mean, Ralph, I mean, Jalen did throw for 100 yards. I mean, you got to be impressed. And that that throw to AJ Brown, that was impressive. You got to give him that. But other than that, if you're a Commanders fan out there, you were playing with house money, and I think year two they're going to get better. So hey, no one expected them to be in the NFC Championship game, including us. Let's be real. When was the last time you saw a rookie go, take you to a team to a Super Bowl? So so there you go. So that's all I have to say. And shout out to our Commander friends, because I think Jaden and this team is going to be special for years to come.
No, I'm with you guys. Especially with what JB was saying about their D line and their O line. Honestly, I feel like Jordan Davis had himself a huge game too as well. I felt like that came out of nowhere because we all expected Jalen Carter to make a lot of noise and all. To y'all watching, I mean, the turnovers to me were the big cinch, honestly, too as well. I think it really showed the Eagles' physicality and all too as well. They did that. In the first play against the Green Bay Packers and all, I believe Nixon fumbled the ball. I'm not sure. I can't remember who forced it on the Eagles side and all. But again, I think their physicality showed out with the fumbles, with all the turnovers. And all. I feel like Jaden played well, even without their old lineman there and all too. So he was still able to move the football. They were just, again, those turnovers were killing them. The De'Ami Brown one, the Eckler one is what I remember specifically and all. I can't remember what happened on the second turnover and all. But,
and especially the special teams, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's for my grading, when I'll be grading these two teams out, the eliminated ones, the first one with the Commanders at least and all, there's no way I'm not giving them an A and all. I did, funningly pick them to go 12-5 at least and all, because y'all know how I feel about the Eagles and all. We'll get into their performance and all too as well. But with a team that lacked offensive depth and all, because Luke McCaffrey looked like something, and then all of a sudden he went left for the second half of the season, similar to Jalen Polk for the New England Patriots and all. But at least Luke showed out a little bit more in the first quarter of the season, at least and all. And then they had to go pick up Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore was never healthy. If we're being real, honestly, too, as well, the fact that they were able to limp on over to the championship game, and then JB's mentioned their old lineman that got hurt against the Lions, sleeping on his name there, and then Deron Payne, basically an hour, 2 hours before the game started, at least and all. I'm impressed that they were actually in this football game 35-23 and all going in. I think midway through the third quarter and all.
Third quarter, yeah.
So yeah, it's really on Jaden Daniels, really, honestly, because as I mentioned, he was their leading rusher. They were
picking number 2 in the draft last year,
and they deserve his love.
This year, of course, they get an A+.
Of course they get an A+ and all too as well, but. But I'm just talking about how their season ended and all too as well. What I'm saying at least, because I'm with you guys and all too as well. This is a team that's going to have Vince has mentioned on the show a whole bunch of times how they're going to have money and all too as well. How they should have the ability to spend and all. I am impressed with the signings they made this year. Honestly, when we talk about the Bobby Wagners, the Frankie Louvu's, even though he was a little crazy on that push to snap and all for those 2-3 plays and all, and Chin and all too as well for their safety help and all too as well. So I like the signings that they made last year. I would think they'll double up this year too as well. I would love a guy like T. Higgins over there too as well. And also there is a lot to like about Washington and all. You wish they could keep up in a performance like this with the Eagles. But how we got to give credit to Harry Roseman and the talent that he put in, honestly.
Well, Ron, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, the Eagles are in the Super Bowl and the Giants have a top 5 picks. There you go.
And they got their best player from last year too. So let's go with that segue. Let's go to the Eagles and all too as well. Truly commanding.
Wait a minute. Let's stay for a second on the.
All right. Go.
Because I have one more point very quickly.
I feel like this
now. One more. We'll be quick, but it's still a point. The idea that the Commanders have changed in some meaningful way with Jaden Daniels. Ultimately, even with Jaden Daniels, this team going forward still has the same problem that it's had for many a year, pretty much since Terry McLaurin got there, which is that in the absence of Terry McLaurin, if you decide to bracket cover him, which is what the Eagles basically did all game, they had somebody covering him and they had someone over the top. Yeah. What are you going to do consistently to get the ball to someone else who's going to burn you? They tried Jahan Dotson. They had De'Ami Brown with a little bit of success. Brian Robinson Jr. has proven himself to be, we're going to eventually get into this. When Ralph Mentor starts talking his slander about Jalen Hurts being, at a bottom 20 quarterback, right? Being
not in the list, bro.
Not in the top 20.
No.
He skips over Brian Robinson Jr. Brian Robinson Jr. not a top 20 running back, okay? I'm here to tell you
that's fair.
What a top 20 running back looks like. Brian Robinson Jr. is not a top 20 running back. And so how are you going to take going forward once we're done with being sad about the loss and you have all these extra resources? What are you going to do now that you have a serious quarterback to take the attention off of Terry McLaurin? What are you going to do? You're going to get a big weapon. You're going to get a big target like a T. Higgins. Are you going to get a running back who is sort of a complete guy, not like Saquon Barkley, because that guy comes around only when the Giants are being stupid. But like, are you going to get somebody? Are you going to get somebody like that to take the attention off Terry McLaurin, or are you going to go into next year trying to buffer your defense in a way that Marshawn Lattimore, because he's 1,000 years old, can't do, right? And we're going to figure out, as you go forward as a Commanders fan, we're going to figure out what the answer to that question is. And I will say this: if they don't answer that question, if they go the Josh Allen route, right, where they just let go of Josh Allen just let go of Stephon Diggs, said everybody just get better, we'll sign Matt Collins. By the way, Matt Collins had a great game. We'll talk about that in a second. Like, if you go the route where it's just like, you know what, it's our quarterback, and our quarterback will just make do with whatever weapons that we have, I am here to tell you this, that the Eagles, specifically their defense, which will lead you, Ralph, which I'll lead you over to, Ralph, that Eagles defense is prepared for Jaden Daniels to have less weapons. I'm telling you right now that as we move forward into the future, right, if the Commanders want to get back to this spot, right, win or lose, they have to figure out an answer to that question of how do we take the attention that everybody is paying to Terry McLaurin and burn other teams with that. That stayed the same throughout the year. That was all the way through the whole 12-5 record. That was all the same. That stayed exactly the same. And so as you go forward with Jaden Daniels, you need to have a clear, concise answer to that. More concise than I was in this monologue, right? You need an answer going forward in order to actually make it back here and to make it beyond and to achieve your Super Bowl dreams. The Eagles, on the other hand, Ralph Mentor, didn't need such an answer. They had 55 points. And you can make a stronger case, and this is the case that I'm going to make to you, that the reason is because they took the focus off of Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert, Devonta Smith, and A.J. Brown, and put the focus on Saquon Barkley. That's the step that I'm talking about. Do you think, one, that the Commanders need to make a step like that? And two, do you think that that step is the reason that they won the game?
The Eagles winning the game?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like that the Eagles won the NFC Championship game is because they took the focus off of Jalen Hurts, who were better all last year, and put it on Saquon Barkley.
That's all season. Yeah, I agree.
The plan that I'm suggesting for Jaden Daniels is that the same thing that the Eagles already did last year. That's what I'm essentially asking you. Because you see how I'm saying that, like, they have to take the focus off Terry McLaurin in order to take that next step?
Yeah.
I think because at the beginning of the year, the Eagles had the same question with Jalen Hurts. Like, how do we take the focus off of Jalen Hurts in the passing game? And their answer was Saquon Barkley. Do you think the same thing has to happen for the Commanders in order for them to take that?
Yeah, I like your running game more point. I brought up T. Higgins and all too as well, but I like the running game point too as well because look what just look at scratch out Saquon Barkley, and obviously we don't know what he did for the Eagles this year too as well. But look what Derrick Henry did for Baltimore. Lamar Jackson all too as well with his lack of weapons and all too as well. Josh Jacobs for the Packers and all to have someone more reliable than Aaron Jones at least. So they had the ability to run the ball, but Aaron Jones couldn't stay healthy. He stayed healthy, and when they didn't have Jordan Love for the first quarter of the season when he hurt his knee and all, had Malik Willis there, relied on Josh Jacobs too as well. Joe Mixon, even though I say injuries kind of hurt his season at least, and all through derailing it, and us three know how bad the O-line is for the Texans at least, and all too as well. But I looked at him in the first half of the season before he got hurt, helping that team out too as well, helping CJ out too as well. Honestly, you can argue CJ looked better with Mixon in there. Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins were there too as well, so I wouldn't ignore that and all. But we're seeing how big running backs are, how even I undervalue them with my top 50 or my favorite player list going into the podcast and all, or going into the season in my podcast. I only had like 5 favorite running backs, and all that's changed instantly when you look at Jahmyr Gibbs too as well. Look at that running game for Jared Goff and all too as well. Look at the pressure it put off him too as well. So the running game is huge for me. Finding it now is a different variation because I was trying to think of running backs while JB was going off and all. I'm not sure who's available and all. You can't, because my thing is with the Commanders too about a running game, got to stop relying on Jaden Daniels to run the football and all. second month of the season, they weren't as good because his ribs were hurt and he couldn't run the football, and they were scared to run the football with him too as well. That's why for the Commanders, at least, Brian Robinson looked bad throughout the year. Austin Eckler was hurt and then didn't show up in the playoffs and all too as well. At least in the championship game, showed out. I would give him that in the Lions game at least. No, but some consistency from the running back position would be huge for the Commanders and all. So I think if they did nothing but they added a running back at least, I think they would be better at least better equipped to face a team like the Eagles and all too as well if things are even and all. But I'll throw it to Vince. How do you feel about JB's question and all about the Commanders and what they should be doing this offseason and all to get better and all get better in the NFC East and have a better chance against the Philadelphia Eagles. There I go.
Well, I'll make you guys laugh. You and JB laugh. I hope every team notices that running back is valuable. And if you look at the playoffs, I mean, the teams are going farther because they actually have running backs. How about the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, Jerry Jones lost salary cap. Yeah, he just let's be real. He just loves his fans buys his merchandise. That's all he cares about. But he also cares about Marty Shot and my son. But we'll talk about that later. Who cares about that team? Now, let me focus on your question, though. Now, listen, man, I trust them, man. I trust their decisions. I trust the Commanders' front office decisions more than the White House right now. But that's not saying much because we all. But anyway, but listen, Adam Peters is the GM, so so they made some good moves this past offseason, right, Ralph? Yeah. I expect better moves this offseason as well, especially the systems fit for Dan Quinn's system, for his defense. Yeah. We'll see if Cliff Kingsbury stays. I expect him probably to. I don't expect the Saints to get him. So I just heard they just finished the interview with Kellen Moore. So, but anyways, but anyways, look at me with Vince Schefter, right? I know. But in all seriousness, I'm with JB. I do think they need another receiver with Terry McLaurin because, I mean, let's be real. Luke McCaffrey was a rookie. I mean, no offense to Zacchaeus, you know what I mean, and De'Ami Brown, but he needs another guy, you know what I mean? So we know, and by the way, we can make this hot take right now. I mean, when Stafford retires, I mean, Jaden Daniels might be the best quarterback in the NFC. We'll see if Jaden has his sophomore slump, like CJ kind of did. But anyway, with that being said, though, Ralph, to answer your question, I do expect Washington to get better, and we'll see if they keep those pieces of Eckler and those other pieces. But I do expect the Commanders to get better, and I expect a lot of more teams to get better because it happens every year, right? So, I'm going to give you my grade for the Commanders. I'm with you too, Ralph. A+2.
Yeah, they deserve it, man. Like way unexpected, even for someone like me and all, way unexpected. Let's talk about the Eagles and all too as well. This shouldn't be surprising. If people know me, hater, like not the biggest fan of what they do offensively, at least, but can't ignore the talent on the field, at least. They got two of everything on the field. They got two rookie cornerbacks. They got two rushers and all too as well. Two rushers. One got hurt and Brandon Graham at least on two as well. Yeah. And they got two running backs. Everybody knows how I feel about that. They got two wide receivers and all too as well. Just a loaded football team too as well, honestly. You look at their O-line and all, just stacked on stack. I think Cam Jurgens didn't even play their rookie center, if not their young center. Guys like Dickerson showed out big time, honestly, too, as well. No. So I questions for you, at least, for you, for Vince and JB, at least. I'll go Vince first on this one. Yeah. What was the most impressive part of this Eagles win, at least? Was it their running game, at least? Was it Jalen Hurts passing the football for 200 yards and getting a win, at least? Brown obviously showed out, had a big game. The defense obviously had their turnovers. The rookies, Cooper DeJean and Keon Mitchell, had themselves a dope game too as well, honestly. Even though, to JB's point, a little easier when you can just take out one person and all. There's not much out there. Even though Zach had himself a big game on the middle of the field. But again, what did you feel like was the most impressive part of the Eagles win against the Commanders and all? Do you see it continuing in the Super Bowl too as well? Was this just a bad game by the Commanders and the Eagles were able to step on the pond, no different from what the Rams did to the Vikings in a turnover-filled game, and then what the Commanders did to the Lions in a turnover-filled game and all?
Yeah. Here's what I noticed. You're probably gonna laugh, but because you know me, I like making jokes, right? I think my father's gonna say the exact same thing. So listen. there's two differences, right, Ralph? So I shout out to Philadelphia. Well, Vic Fangio was a tremendous hire
Yeah.
because I told my father this, right? Now, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Fangio had that much talent in Miami. I know my boy JB can make a lot of jokes about that Miami defense. He's a Bills fan, so he knows. But listen, man, let's be real. I'm not really surprised about Philadelphia hiring the guy because he's from Philadelphia. I think Vic Fangio is more better as a DC. And that's okay. I think coaches are meant to be good at coaches or good at their position, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, for me with this game it's more about their special teams and more about Vic Fangio because if you're going from mentor JB, if you're going from Matt Patricia to fucking Vic Fangio, that's not saying much. But listen, man. But Ralph. But let's be real though. I do think with Philadelphia's talent on defense, and that's Vic. I'm sure Vic Fangio chose those guys throughout the draft because by the way, those were steals.
Yeah, those are
The
steals.
Cooper DeJean,
Yeah.
By the way, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jeremiah Trotter's son, by the way, ironically, they're both Eagles. Look at that.
Wow.
Ironically, right? So, it's kind of funny because in this town they used to hate Howie because they chose Jalen Rieger, and then all of a sudden you think Devontae Smith and traded for A.J. Brown. They love him now, right? So, but listen, this team does have talent. They do.
Loaded.
So, listen, as long as they don't fuck up, Ralph, the special teams, and their online coach is really good. You got to give them credit with there because they do have a former Jet, Mikal Becton. Look at that, JB. Now look, you can make fun of the Jets right there, but other than that, hopefully Lincoln Dickinson is going to be okay in 2 weeks. Maybe he'll get a massage. He needs a massage before 2 weeks, Ralph. But other than that, this team does have talent, and but no, the special teams I'm impressed with. My only thing is going to be, so far, Kellen Moore is doing good so far. However, I will give my dad credit with this. Kellen Moore has more talent on offense in Philadelphia more than he had in Dallas. Like no shit, right? I'll give my dad credit with there. But other than that, bro, the special team is good as long as Jake Elliott. By the way, just real quick, Jake Elliott, bro, go get some pussy. Just make the fucking kick, bro.
What's it called? I was going to ask you about that. Are you not worried about him enough? 'Cause I feel like if there's an Achilles.
Here's the deal. My dad likes to make jokes, right? This guy, Jake Elliott. I had this guy in fantasy, by the way. I don't get this guy, man. He makes extra points. He can make a 50-yarder if he wants to. But see, here's the deal. Am I worried? But here's the deal, Rob. See, if they win and he misses field goals, who cares, right? Because he missed a field goal in that game, they still won.
Yep.
So who cares, like JB says, right? Now, however, let's just say if they're down 3 and he's going to make a 50-yard field goal and then he misses it, then I agree with your answer. Now, if I'm an Eagle fan, am I worried? Of course, because he's been missing tee shots, but again, we'll see what he does. Maybe his head will focus on Taylor Swift. Who knows, right? But other than that, thank you for that question, Rob. I think everybody in Philadelphia are like 50-50 with Elliott. They're confident, but sometimes they're like, I don't know.
Vince is from South Jersey, so he has a good temperature of the Philadelphia fan.
Yeah, I got some Jets fans over here. I got some Giant fans and Eagle fans. They're mixing around, so there you go.
Disgusting, nasty ass work over there. But JB, what do you think was the most impressive part?
His eyes is rolling. Okay, we go.
he's from the DC area. I don't blame him either. But what's it called there? Oh yeah, JB, what did you find more impressive about the Eagles' performance? Their 25 was it 25, 22, 20, 22, 20, 30 point win against the Commanders.
Point win, and somehow it's Kellen Moore's fault. Anyway, I will say that the most impressive part of the Eagles' win is the defense, and I think that anybody who watched the game or spent any time with the game saw a defense that is built thoroughly from top to bottom and stopped arguably. Yeah, since Vince brought it up, the best quarterback in the NFC. I don't know that he's the best quarterback in the NFC, but I would have to sit and think about it. And he certainly was the hottest quarterback in the NFC coming into the game. And you held him, you gave him a 32-point loss with your defense. Like, yeah, man, that's what's impressive. That's sort of the big news of the day. And that's what makes the Eagles go. But I would like to say something really quickly about this whole Kellen Moore slander. Right?
Slander.
Yeah, this needs to be said. For everybody who is talking shit about the Miami Dolphins defense, including myself. Hey, look, I talk shit about the Miami Dolphins defense, and that's why Vic Fangio wasn't successful as a head coach, because he was in Miami with that shitty defense, right? I'm all the way with you on that, right? This idea that Kellen Moore sucked at the San Diego Chargers coach because he sucked, as opposed to the San Diego Chargers sucking. By the way, those same San Diego Chargers who scored 11 points in their stupid Jim Harbaugh playoff game.
No, by the way, JB,
right?
he coached.
This idea that it's Kellen Moore's fault, right? Look at what the Dallas Mavericks.
No.
I said the Mavericks.
JB, you talked about the wrong blue team. He coached the Denver Broncos, by the way. But go ahead, yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, he did. Vic Fangio, don't look it up. He did.
Yeah, he did. A short time. Was it a season, Vince, or an interim?
Yeah. I think it's 2 years, right? Around there. Well, whatever. Keep going, JB. Sorry.
No, I'm looking it up right now.
I'm pretty sure he was. Even that's meant to.
He was. Yeah. DC with the Chicago Bears, I think, after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course,
he was. No, I'm looking at it. No, he was the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, the offensive coordinator.
We're talking about Kellen Moore. I'm sorry.
We're talking about Kellen Moore. I'm
so sorry. Look.
I'm talking about Kellen Moore, right? This idea that Kellen Moore sucks because Justin Herbert and the Chargers were so incredible on offense, and yet they only scored 11 points with Jim Harbaugh. This has got to stop. Kellen Moore is – I will grant you the idea that Kellen Moore is not a perfect head coaching candidate. I understand that he's not like the greatest coach in the world. But this idea that he's not better than Brian Schottenheimer, or he's not better than Mike McCarthy, or he's not better than –
you know Jerry Wynham. He's at work. Kellen Moore's at work. You couldn't be patient for him.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm trying to say here is, Vince, this slander that you're getting up to with Kellen Moore, trying to drag his name through the mud everywhere you go, you gotta stop, man. I get it that he's not like your favorite coach, that you think that, there are a couple of jokes out there that you want to, attack, but the Cowboys fell off a fucking cliff in terms of offense the moment they left, right? The Chargers, They were no good either, and then he goes to the Eagles, and all of a sudden the Eagles have a balanced attack. Now you can give some of that credit, as I just did, literally a soliloquy ago, to Saquon Barkley. I'm not trying to sit here and pretend like none of it goes to Saquon Barkley, but this idea that Kellen Moore has been the problem in Philadelphia, you have to stop. He's not. He's fine.
For now.
He's fine as an offensive coordinator. There is much worse that you can do in terms of being an offensive coordinator than Kellen Moore. Ask the Cowboys. Ask the Cowboys in the same division. Hell, while you're at it, ask the Giants. Right? There are a lot of teams that do worse in terms of having a head coach and an offensive coordinator than Kellen Moore. As far as where the Eagles are, right? I mean, when we get to the Super Bowl matchup, we have to ask ourselves sort of a question. Do you believe in the more balanced and more talented team, which I think is going to end up being the Eagles when we break down all the different positions, or do you believe in the referees and the mystique, right? And if you believe in the second one, then you're going to end up picking Kansas City, right? Everything in your head should tell you Kansas City, because Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose close games, right? And in the event that he's in danger, they give him a first down and let him try 4 more times to get the next one. So do you believe that's going to overcome an Eagles defense that has been, stellar is the wrong word for the back half of the year. They've been fucking incredible. I mean, they've been scary in terms of getting pressure on the quarterbacks. That you need to be a lot more enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
They've been awesome in terms of getting sacks, in terms of getting quarterbacks in the pressure situations. And whatever else you want to say about Jalen Hurts, and I imagine that we're getting there once I throw it back to you, Ralph. Saquon Barkley has been doing this now in terms of busting up people at the line of scrimmage, busting entire groups apart. This has been going on, 5, 6, 7 games, right, in a row, where Saquon Barkley gets an early run for 65 yards and scores a touchdown.
Season, man. This is
the whole season.
Yeah, he's been doing this all season.
So, I predicted on the show that I thought that the Bills would run the ball down Kansas City's throat. If I'm the Eagles, am I stupid enough to try and get into a passing game against
No, hell no.
You should.
Okay, so both of you just answered no. So if you both answer no, then do you believe that Saquon's success is going to continue? And if so, does that give them the edge over Kansas City, Ralph?
Real quick, just real quick.
Well, you just talked, Vince, which is why I was going to throw it to Ralph. But fine, you answer the question.
I got you. Because first of all, see, I like to do conspiracy theory, right? Because I try to help myself last year with with Drake betting on the Chiefs, and obviously I got an iPhone 15 Plus, which is 15 is Mahomes, right? But anyway, no. In all seriousness, I do think it would have surprised me if Saquon Barkley does well, especially on his birthday on the Super Bowl. Look at that, on his birthday. So, and listen, if Jace Cook can do it, so can Saquon Barkley. So I'm going to answer is yes, JB. Go ahead, Ralph.
No, yeah. Where am I going with it? Yeah, that's my pushback with this Eagles defense credit and all too as well. 324 yards to Matthew Stafford in the snow, and then another 276 again with all the turnovers with Jaden Daniels and all. And again, I mentioned that he was still able to move the football even with their turnover issues and all too as well. I do have concerns about this Fangio defense. I do give them credit for how physical and talented they are too as well. That's why they force these fumbles more than getting the interceptions at least and all too as well in the way they force turnovers and all. But to me, the most impressive thing is Saquon Barkley running the football and all. It's going to be the most important thing that they're going to be doing against Kansas City now. Because if I'm seeing 324 against Stafford on the air in the snow, Jane Daniels again with all your turnovers, but he's still able to slice you and dice you down the field at least and all. What's Mahomes going to do and all too as well in the pressure situation where he can get number 3 and all for the Super Bowl and all. So the most impressive thing about the Eagles, they're running. They need to continue running the football and all. That's why I find it impressive. You got to stop Saquon if you're Washington and all, and he's able to still begin the game on a 60-yard touchdown run at least, and then be at least a factor in the running game. You can add Jalen Hurts to it too as well, and they're able to run the football all over the place and all. So I just think the Eagles' running game is the most important thing and all. If they don't run the football, I don't care how good their defense is. I don't think they have much of a chance against the Kansas City Chiefs and all. So with that segue, let's go over to the AFC Championship game now too as well, where we have again the Kansas City Chiefs going to the Super Bowl by beating the Buffalo Bills 32-29.
Oh my God.
In a very close but similar Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs playoff game and all too as well. Very reminiscent from 20, very reminiscent from 21 in the divisional game and all. I think that was 21, and then last year in the divisional game again, where Buffalo actually had the home field advantage and all, still were unable to come out.
I'm going to stop you, Ralph. I'm going to stop you.
Here we go.
You get a point.
But go ahead.
No, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you setting up because you need to make
there you go.
in the middle of your setup. Who do you want to go to? Do you want to go to the person who agrees with this setup? Because if you do, throw it to Vince, right? Or do you want to go to the person who completely disagrees with your entire analysis?
It's a setup. Let me finish it up. I had so much more there too as well, because now Sean McDermott, from those playoff games I just mentioned, where we see similar things against the Chiefs and the Bills, now Sean McDermott is 0-8 in the road in the playoffs and all too as well. But let's get to the stats real quick, because JB is eager to get in it to represent Bills Mafia and all. But Pat Mahomes sat there with 18 for 26, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, and a fumble in the football game. Kareem Hunt, 17 rush attempts, 64 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Worthy, in my opinion, his best game as a pro at least, had himself 6 receptions, 85 yards, and 1 touchdown. I know Vince has got a joke about the GM of the Bills and all going back to draft day and all too as well. But for the Bills stats at least, they're leaders. We got Josh Allen going 22 for 34. Oh, 22 for 35. I was about to say. I can't see shit. But 237 yards and 2 touchdowns. James Cook showed out. Going to be some great questions on where he was in the first half of this game too as well. But had 13 carries, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And all too as well. We had 2 carries, I think I'm seeing, in the first half. No, ridiculous from a guy who was top 5 in total touchdowns and all too as well in the league. And all. That's why I'm bringing up Sean McDermott at 0-8. Playoff road record and all. I'll have plenty of time for it. And Matt Collins, the barefoot wonder and all too as well, showed out big time with some big catches. Had 3 receptions for 73 yards and a touchdown all too as well. The Bills defense showed out at times. They had a stop here and there and all, but it seemed like the Chiefs offense was able to do whatever they want at certain points of the game and all too as well. They did limit Travis Kelce, the cushion boy, and all too as well. So that was a big part of it too as well. And all. The Bills' offense was inconsistent from what I say at least. And all, there was a play that they kept going to in the second half and all. And when there was a fourth down play and you relied on Josh Allen's arm, I don't understand why you couldn't go back to that and you wanted to continuously use the push tush like you have a quarterback that deadlifts 600 pounds plus and all too as well. So I don't understand that. But to JB, that's why I'm sending up all this nonsense with the Bills. And all, who do you blame for this loss and all too as well? Do you blame anyone particular? Was it the team hold effort and all too as well and all? What do you have for the blame pie and all? Because I got Sean McDermott you can look at. You got Joe Brady you can look at. You got the defense too as well, which you can look at Sean McDermott too as well and all. I think my answer is going to be very clear about who I'm blaming here. But JB.
Yeah, you essentially have blamed all the wrong people. You casually mentioned one of the persons who actually deserves this blame, right? So the blame pie should be sliced three ways, right? The first place of the blame pie is Kaiir Elam, because whatever you believed about Christian Benford coming off concussion, whether you thought he was going to be ready, whether you thought he was not going to be ready, wherever you want to go with Christian Benford, the idea that, like, you're not ready for this game, that you're giving up, like, 7 yards of cushion to Xavier Worthy because you're worried that he's faster than you is fucking nonsense. Like, the idea that you're not jamming him at the line of scrimmage, that you're just giving him this wide cushion all the way through the game, like, that's number one. And now whether or not you believe that you were even going to get into the game, if you're Kaiir Elam, is sort of completely irrelevant. You are in the AFC Championship game. This is the time where you really do need to be ready. This is the time where you really do need to be studying, because you never know what could happen. Anything could happen. And you are a professional football player. It is your job to be ready, to know where you're supposed to be on defense, to be able to tackle whoever is in front of you. That's number one, and that is as close as you're going to get to Sean McDermott being part of the blame of this game. The other two people who deserve the blame, who really deserve the blame, is Joe Brady and Ty Johnson. We'll start with Joe Brady. Is there a grand total of, 4 Pro Bowlers on the entire Bills roster? Am I right on that?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
How many Pro Bowlers? 2 of them are Josh Allen and James Cook. The idea that you would go into any half, right, without James Cook on the field is fucking nonsense. He had 4 carries in the first half. He had 9 carries in the second half.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it? Like, this is not Al Horford. This guy's
13 carries.
Doesn't need to be managed. He's a serious player. Whether or not, I mean, me and Vince had this conversation a couple of weeks back, so I'm going to share it with your audience. We rated the running backs. We went all the way down the list, and we managed to get we got James Cook arguing at around 9 or 10, and we were being less than favorable. We were working hard to, like, say, how low can you get James Cook, right? And we got him to 9 before we started going, okay, it gets ridiculous after this, right? No other team could make a credible argument beyond the 9. But the idea that you would say, you know what, I think the right thing here is to have Ty Johnson in when we're going for the tush push. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, my God.
What kind of nonsense is this? Ty Johnson is a small scat back who's a pass catcher. Like, and you choose him over James Cook? James Cook is on the sidelines? What is going on here? And I get it that, like, hey, man, well, that's what we practiced. You know, that Ty Johnson would be a better option. James Cook is a Pro Bowler. James Cook is a complete running back. And the idea that you not put him on the field for anything, I don't even care if the ball's going to him. The idea that you would give the defense Ty Johnson, a small scat back, to worry about more than you would James Cook is absolute nonsense. It's the kind of decision that makes Saints coaches. That kind of decision is how you get hired by the New Orleans Saints. Because you're overthinking things, and you suck as an offensive coordinator. So they're like, yeah, well, we better hire you now to be the Saints head coach. That's how you get that job, making decisions like that. That's number one. The other person who deserves blame is Ty Johnson. Because, again, you are in the AFC Championship game. That's where you're at. Look at where you are. You are in the surroundings. You're in Arrowhead. You have an obligation as a human being who knows the Buffalo history to go to your offensive coordinator, to go to Sean McDermott and say, look, you know I want to play. You know that I need a big contract. You know that I want to have a big game. But me, just like Jawan Jennings, I am the third option here. I am even if I believe in myself, even if I think that I'm awesome, I am not better than James Cook. You need to stop this. You need to stop this. I get it. And no, I'm bringing it up because this is relevant, right?
Yeah.
Last year when Vince's team was trying to make the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Was trying to make the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They turned away from Deebo Samuel. They turned away from Brandon Ayuk. They were like, Jawan Jennings, you and Brock Purdy, you guys are going to win it for us. Jawan Jennings in that situation has an obligation to say to Kyle Shanahan, you are outthinking the room. I'm good, but I am not better than Deebo Samuels. I am not better than Brandon Ayuk. You have to stop this nonsense. I get it that you're trying to make a point. Similarly, Ty Johnson has an obligation to go to Sean McDermott and say, look, I get it. You're trying to outthink the room. You're trying to throw to the third down running back. I get it. I'm small. I'm cute. Me and Curtis Samuel were it's great. But this idea, no, I know it's not going to happen because football players have so much pride. Again, you have to use a little bit of intelligence and be like, look, I'm not as good as the other guy. The other guy is bigger, faster, stronger than me. I need to be off the field. You have to stop this. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. And all three of those players split the blame pie 33, 33, 33. Now, you'll notice that there is a 1% difference, right?
So who's this?
And that's because historically, right, Sean McDermott's teams, their butts get tight in these critical big moments.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It doesn't really matter what the reason is. When there are big moments on the line, they play a very, very safe brand of football, right? And the problem with doing that, the problem with playing a safe brand of football is that it makes it easy for the refs to steal the game from you, right? It makes it easy for you to be 5 yards back, 10 yards back, to have an interception, and then all of a sudden the ball hits the ground, and not only is it not an interception, but it somehow is a Xavier-worthy catch. Fucking nonsense, right? That kind of dribble is like, that kind of play calling is the historical element that is 1%. But this game, this particular game, the Bills held the Chiefs in the third quarter to 0, count them on 0 fingers, in the third quarter, right? 0 points given up in the third quarter. Additionally, they got the lead 2 different times. And had they done a normal lineup, had they just done a normal offense, I shouldn't have said a lineup, a normal offensive game plan for the end of that game, and that 3-minute offense where you're running the ball, and you're in 3rd and 2, 4th and 2, whatever, and you're handing the ball off to James Cook, or you're getting closer with Josh Allen or whatever, right? You would have gotten into field goal range, and you might have even left Mahomes with 13 seconds or less. And instead of doing that, you went for long throws to Dalton Kincaid on 4th down. You were busy you're busy trying to get into these crazy, we're going to try and get up 2 scores because you believe in, believe this theory that if you're not up 2 scores against Mahomes, then you don't have any chance. Like, you're in your own head. Yeah. And that's where McDermott gets 1% of the blame.
And
yes.
It's 1%.
1%. You can shake your head all you want, and you can sit there and try and argue that Ty Johnson is the better option than James Cook. No. All you want, Ralph. Man. No, so you say no to that, but somehow
but that's on the coach to do that, not the player. Oh, coach, I don't want to play. Take me out. Come on, that's on the coach to say, yo, this dude is not the guy. Let's not put the best guy in there.
Fine, but the coach has literally all year long told you, I have given up the offense. I have given up play calling responsibilities. I have given it to Joe Brady. Joe Brady is the greatest thing since sliced bread. All year long, he has said that. And instead of and he said that about the offense. I'm not making that quote up. There are 1,000 quotes all year long, various games. Yeah, we love Joe Brady. I've given him the keys to the offense. I'm the greatest. I've done it.
I give McDermott credit for falling on your sword, but you got to adjust, bruh.
I agree, but
McDermott is an ilk of Andy Reid and all. Andy Reid is the king of adjusting, of adapting. Oh, this is not working. Even in halftime, let's do something different in the second half. Where's Sean McDermott in that? The man deserves 100% blame. The whole Elon thing, too, is you're blaming players. Blame the coach. He's supposed to be seeing what you're seeing, and he can't see it.
He's throwing his hands up in the air and saying, it is not my responsibility. It is Joe Brady. So if it's Joe Brady's responsibility, then you turn the spotlight on Joe Brady and you say, what the fuck is Ty Johnson doing in there? And like we're still asking the same question. You're just asking it of Sean McDermott, and I'm asking it of Joe Brady. And why am I asking it of Joe Brady instead of Sean McDermott? Because Sean McDermott told me to. Because he said that. He said, go ask Joe Brady why Ty Johnson is in the game.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm doing. Why the fuck is Ty Johnson in the game,
Like
Joe
Brady? Mayo.
Oh, I don't know, because he's small and he's scats and he has better hands than James Cook. By the way, James Cook also caught a whole bunch of touchdowns and had a whole bunch of receiving yards.
That's my point. The total touchdowns. It wasn't just
right. So you want the you know what? I'll make this analogy, then I will throw to Vince. You want the supply chain problem that Joe Biden had at the beginning of his presidency on Joe Biden, right? And I want it to be on whoever the fuck is like operating the shipping manifests, because Joe Biden isn't there. What's he supposed to do? Offload the fucking like supplies? Get the hell out of here. No, you blame the offensive coach who's in charge of the fucking offense. Vince, go ahead, disagree with me. Tell me my Jawan Jennings point is way off, Mr. Brock Purdy.
I don't think it's way off. But see, I don't know what coaches think. You know what I mean? Well, first of all, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Because I mean, listen, people can hate the Chiefs all they want, but it's like people hated Jordan and people hated Brady. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And the Chiefs are the most. Guys, I'll just say this real quick. Since y'all hate on my baseball team. But you see, people want a salary cap in baseball. No, Rob. There's a reason why. There's a reason why I'm mentioning this, right? Because there's a salary cap in the NFL, but the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl almost each year, right? But owners want a salary cap in baseball. But the last repeated champion was the New York Yankees. But let's focus on football right now, right? So listen, real quick, JB, I respect your takes because I get it. You're mad because my point on my show yesterday was, and I even told you and everybody was. Because there's a reason why I mentioned this, because and I told my dad about this, who is the second best coach after Andy in the AFC? Because the reason why I asked that is because you trust those coaches out-coaching Andy, and I told my father, I don't trust, the only coach I trust, I know Davey's going to say Sean McDermott, and I get that, but my thing, the only coach that I believe in, I've seen it before, because I'm a Niners fan, because Jim Harbaugh does have good. He always has a great coaching staff. Now, I know you guys might not be a fan of Greg Roman, but to me, the only coach that I believe in the AFC to me is Jim Harbaugh. Now, I know you don't believe that, but that's okay. But anyways, let me talk about the game first. Well, first of all, JB, I would have gave you guys a chance if the Chiefs would have kept Kadarius Toney, but it didn't. They didn't. But hey, you just missed at least they have him. But listen, but what makes me so mad, right? Listen, I want them to get. I want the refs and everybody to make the right calls. But shout out to my guy Whittle. Whittle said it on my show last week. He said the Bills have to, to contain the game by two scores, right? Because if you don't, and you make this game close, guess what? That favors the Chiefs most likely, right? So, JB, I'm with you. I don't know why Buffalo went away from, James Cook, but he was cooking, and then they chose Ty Johnson. Me and you were talking, and when I saw that, I'm like, okay, now that, it was crazy. Joe Brady's from the Champagne tree. Look at that. So you can blame Mencio all you want with that. We'll look at the Broncos, but laugh out loud. But also, it's kind of crazy because it's funny how you can make fun of this team because they have Panther players, if you know what I mean. Because McDermott did came from Carolina, if you forget about that. But no, in all seriousness, listen, Ralph, and I think, JB, you can agree with this. You know what this game reminded me of? The Buffalo game from 2 years ago, kind of. Because correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Buffalo down by 3, and all they needed was a field goal? Which, by the way, Benny Monster said yesterday, well, Josh Allen, how come you didn't get the Bills to field goal range? Because that's all you needed to do. However, Benny Monster, even if Buffalo would have gotten the field goal, I think the Mahomes would have had a chance to at least get a field goal. Because we've seen him before. When he has time left, he can get a field goal. So, listen, I get it from JB's point. And real quick, Ralph, I said it on my show. I had a show with me and my guy Ben and Samari. We had a episode because we did the first round. I knew when the Buffalo Bills traded back with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But JB's like, he called me the next night. He's like, "Hey, Xavier Worthy is fine." Well, he was definitely not fine that game. But Worthy was worthy in that game. So I
Best
mean, listen,
game of his career. Yeah. Come on, man.
yeah. I mean, remember, Chiefs fans told you, JB.
Read the stat line again.
No,
Tell me what the
no,
best
JB,
game of his
can I
career
finish?
was.
Can I finish? Chiefs fans told you, and I told you. Well, I'm telling you what Chiefs fans told me. They got their next Tyreek Hill. That's why Chiefs fans are excited, JB. You got to give Chiefs fans some credit.
Yeah, let's compare his stats to the best game of Tyreek Hill's career. Let's go.
Okay.
This is the best
Maybe.
game of his
Can I keep going? Can I keep going? Can I keep?
Man. They just won a Super Bowl with Kadarius Toney now. I think.
Yeah, exactly. And Ralph, don't forget, Michael Harvard got the last touchdown at Jet. But anyways, with that being said, listen. At the end of the day, man, I mean, the Chiefs and their coaches, they're gonna outcoach those other coaches in the AFC. I mean, serious. Like Rob, I mean, you and JB can interrupt me. Interrupt me. Who do you trust after Andy in the AFC? Because my boy Lucas Gaynor is like Mike Tomlin, because the reason why he said that is because he doesn't have an elite quarterback, which I get where Lucas is coming from. But what would you guys say? Because I think that's a great point. Because at this point, which coach do you actually believe in being Andy?
It's no one. There's only one guy that can give Andy some trouble and all. Right now he's in UNC recruiting the transfer.
Oh, yeah,
right
okay.
So there's no one else.
JP's laughing.
No, that's not even close, honestly. I look at Sean McDermott as the problem and all. I respect that he wanted to stick and fall on his sword at least, no, because the push thing they were doing was an all-season thing at least, no.
Yeah.
The running backs too, bringing in the Ty Johnsons and the Davises of the world, something they've been doing all season, though. But the biggest game of the season, you got to see some things aren't working and just cut it. There's no reason to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It seems like insanity to me. That's how I look at Sean McDermott and all. I get JB's point with the players at least, no, but the players can't govern the players and all too as well. The last time I checked and I heard something like that, that's when the prisoners are running the asylum and all too. You don't want that situation. You want the warden, which is Sean McDermott in this situation, and on the black guy talking about jail dynamics, of course, right now. But still, though. Sean McDermott is supposed to be running the whole thing and all. If you're seeing things aren't working, like the 2-point conversions you're continuously going for, stop. The push-up wasn't working last week against the Ravens. No. The Chiefs are similarly maybe less talented team than the Ravens, but right there, because they're in the AFC Championship game, let's stop doing that in the second half too as well, because like I mentioned before, Josh Allen threw Samuel open in the back of the end zone. It wasn't like he was open, it was a blown coverage situation. He threw him open on a 4th and 5 and all too as well. Why not keep doing that and fall on that sword and all too as well? I get they wanted to take less pressure off of Josh Allen. I thought throughout the whole season they did a great job of that too as well, even in the divisional game against the Ravens and all. It wasn't Josh Allen wasn't doing much. He did more in the Bronco win when he almost threw for 300 yards on that Bronco defense and all. But in the other game, they stuck to their principles and won. But you got to adjust. It seemed like you guys adjusted in the Bronco game. It wasn't a great first half for the Bills, if I remember correctly. They figured it out in the second half and all. Why couldn't you do that in the second half against the Chiefs and all? I just feel like, I think one of you mentioned it, I'm not sure who mentioned it, but they play tight. Their asses get tight and all these type of big
games.
That was JB, right? It's the same old situations. I cannot not look at the coach in that situation, although your players aren't prepared and all too as well. I feel like the defense had their moments at least and all too as well, but you got your stop. You got the ball with Josh Allen all too as well. And I get Joe Brady gets the blame for the play design too as well and all, but still, I feel like Sean McDermott has the autonomy to say, let's just do this or do that and all. And I feel like he fell short to that. And I really blame with the 2-point conversions, because if you eliminate those, you have a tie football game. You got Josh Allen with the football. There's no pressure. You can run the football a little bit more. You can just play design a whole lot more differently and all. So it's hard for me not to look at Sean McDermott again for the Bills' inability of winning a playoff game on the road. Doesn't even matter who it is at this point, honestly. And now it's the Chiefs that they've lost, 0-4 in the playoffs now, too, as well with this loss and all. So that's all I got for the Bills. I'm not sure if you guys have anything more.
Wait. I do have a question. JB, I did ask you yesterday, and you were asked the Bills Nation as well. I know this is some Bills Nation. They want McDermott. My thing is this: who is better than McDermott out there?
Nobody is the answer to your question. Certainly nobody in the AFC. I'll do a follow-up question before I continue on my rant. Who was the best coach, Ralph mentor? Ralph first, then second. Yeah. Who was the best coach that you would want over Bill Belichick in the Tom Brady era?
Flores, I guess.
Who?
Brian Flores.
Yeah, you wanted Brian Flores over Bill Belichick?
If Bill Belichick left and I had nothing to choose,
No.
what is? I thought that was the question.
No.
All
I'll say the question again.
right.
During the Tom Brady era,
All right.
when Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were together,
Yeah.
okay, who was the second best coach?
Of that whole time?
Yeah, that you thought, oh wow, maybe he would be better with Tom Brady than Bill Belichick.
I got you. I got one.
You've got one.
Yeah,
That's all.
It's Flores.
No, I do.
During the Tom Brady era, you liked Brian Flores.
He was the. I mean, if I'm looking at hindsight, he was the best coach coming
Yeah,
after
you're
this.
looking at hindsight. You're looking at hindsight.
I'm looking at hindsight. Yeah, like Weiss was okay at Notre Dame. Romeo Crennel was okay at Houston. Patricia, we shouldn't talk about that. McDaniels, we don't need to talk about that. Joe Judge, we don't need to talk about that.
No, not that coached with Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
You have the entire league. You have everybody.
Oh, everybody. Oh, I thought you were talking about just the staff. Oh, okay.
I'm saying you get the entire league, and you say, you know what? I think I could have won more than the 6 Super Bowls with Tom Brady
Nobody.
if I had this coach over Bill Belichick.
Nobody.
Awesome. That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Besides, you said you had an answer.
No. I do have an answer because I mean they won with this guy won with like.
Let me guess. It's Jim Harbaugh.
No, it's not. He hasn't won. He has his brother beat him. I got you. No. I love his father. What about Mike Shanahan?
Mike Shanahan.
What about Mike Shanahan? He was not better than Bill Belichick.
He wasn't better than Bill Belichick.
When those two were together, it was a fucking dynasty.
Yeah.
There's a reason why there's a Netflix special on it, right?
Yeah.
They were fucking.
You're right.
The right answer is nobody.
Well, it is, though.
That's the right answer. The right answer is nobody. There's a reason I asked that question, right?
Yeah.
Because right now, the answer to your question, Vince, of who would you want over Sean McDermott, the answer right now is nobody. Nobody else matters. As a matter of fact, during the Tom Brady era, really only one coach other than Bill Belichick mattered, and that was Tom Coughlin. All the other people who won Super Bowls during that era, you think of the Brian Billings, right?
Yeah.
Then what happened? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan won one at the very beginning with the Denver Broncos, and then what happened?
Nothing.
Right, nothing. During that era, right, it was Bill Bell. Hell, look at Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy is one of the only. I think he's the only coach. I might be wrong on this, but I think I'm right. He's the only coach who's won Super Bowls with 2 different teams, one with Tampa Bay and one with Indianapolis.
Yeah.
No?
John Gruden.
John, well, that.
Oh, John Gruden.
It was,
But let's be real. Dungy built that defense, though. He did.
The cover 2 defense, that was his. I know. All his players there. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So you know the end of the story. Both of you know the end of the story with John Gruden's career. You know about his time with the Raiders. You know about the mega contract.
The quarterback
Would you have rather had during that time John Gruden or Bill Belichick?
Obviously, Bill Belichick.
Obviously, Bill Belichick.
No one better.
Right? And the point here is that we are in one of 2 eras. Either A, you believe that Patrick Mahomes is in a in a football-defining era, and that it really doesn't matter that we have Sean McDermott or the Steelers have Mike Tomlin or the 49ers
It really doesn't. Doesn't.
Well, that's sort of the point here, right? And you're agreeing with me, right, Ralph? It really doesn't matter that the 49ers have Kyle Shanahan, right? What matters is that Mahomes and Reed are in a career-defining era, right? A football-defining era, and it doesn't really matter who you think is the second best coach.
Yeah.
What matters is that they have Andy Reid and they have Patrick Mahomes, and that's all that matters, right? So you either believe that, or you believe that that 3 out of the past 4 Super Bowls should have been won by somebody else, the person who actually won them, right? Of course not, right? Of course you shake your head and think that that's ridiculous, because it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous on its face. Because you lived it, right? You lived it. You were part of the history. Now you are in the now. I say that to go all the way back to your point, Ralph, which is this idea that I can put the blame on Sean McDermott, right? I believe, and I think I'm right on this, but I'm willing to have the argument with you. I believe that Sean McDermott is bulletproof. And it's not because Sean McDermott is a good coach or there isn't somebody better than him. I believe that his coaching job is secure beyond any any normal win-loss make the playoffs record
Agreed.
because of the DeMar Hamlin incident. Just period.
Yeah.
I think that it transcends football. I think that he's going to have a really shitty season. I mean, like a 5-11, a 5-12 season, a 6-11 season. When I say
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Marty Schottenheimer, we all know about Marty Schottenheimer, and he did that for 20 seasons with the 2 different teams.
Yeah, and I think that Sean McDermott is in that same mold. That's my
point. Yeah.
That, like, this idea that you're going to get rid of him after the DeMar Hamlin incident, because, hey, man, he didn't make the Super Bowl. Yeah, him and so many other AFC coaches. Where the fuck was Jim Harbaugh? Losing in the first round of the playoffs, right? Yeah. Where the fuck was Mike Tomlin? Right? Where the hell, while we're on the subject, where the fuck was John Harbaugh, right? And so Sean McDermott continues to take to the AFC Championship game, makes the playoffs, wins the AFC East. As long as that's going on, right, whether he wins the Super Bowl or not, you're always going to come to the end of this same question, which is like, okay, well, who would you rather have? Right?
Yeah.
Who is so much better? And you can give me answers like Sean McVay because he won 1 Super Bowl with the Rams. You can give me answers like Kyle Shanahan because he made the Super Bowl with the 49ers. And I'm going to tell you that those answers are just as good as Sean McDermott because they didn't have to face Andy Reid. And Andy Reid beat all those people in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So for me to get past the idea of Sean McDermott needs to be fired, we need to get rid of him, you're going to have to give me somebody that you would rather have that has had more success than Andy Reid. And it's just not there. It's in the same mold as Belichick, right? It doesn't exist. So all these arguments that, like, you're going to have to get rid of Sean McDermott in order for Josh Allen to succeed doesn't fly. And ultimately, the moment I get to that conclusion, right, if I'm comfortable as a Bills fan, and if I'm an NFL analyst like I'm being right now with Ralph Mentor, where I watched like 5 games during the regular season, every fucking game during the playoffs. I watched the games that were being simulcast. I was everywhere during the playoffs. I watched everything during the playoffs. During the regular season, I watched like 5 to 7 games. I kept up with it. Did. Right? No, I kept up with it. I kept up with like what was going on the highlight shows. I kept up with it. Yeah. But in terms of like actually like cover to cover watching,
right?
like it didn't start in the playoffs. But the point here is that like if I'm gonna sit there and have to listen to like analysis of how great Pete Carroll is now that he's got the Raiders, then you're gonna have to sit here and listen to me say that in the playoffs the playoffs of the last 10 years, that I don't have somebody who's any better or any worse than Sean McDermott.
It's true.
And then I'm left with, as a Bills fan, okay, well, who do I put the blame on, right? Who do I blame? If I can't blame Sean McDermott, where do I go? And to be like Sean McDermott all year long is telling you out loud with his voice, I've given over the keys to the offense. I don't have anything to do with the offense. It's all Joe Brady. Yeah. Says it all year long. This is not the first time I bring this up. Yeah. This is something that has been since like week 3 of the season. He has been saying this over and over and over again. And then you're sitting there and you're watching the second half and you're on the edge of your seat and you're like, oh my God, what are they going to do? Where's James Cook? Oh, wait, he's not on the field? What are you talking about? He's not. Wait, didn't he just score a touchdown?
Yeah.
Didn't he just get a first down? No, he did both those things. That happened because those other 9 carries.
Why do not blame Sean then? If that's his direction, or I want nothing to do with the offense,
because Sean did what Trump does.
Oh my God!
He's already shifted the blame to somebody else all throughout the year.
This sounds like Gerard Mayo. This really sounds like Gerard Mayo this past season, though, too. That's what he did with the Alex Van Pelt, too. So go ask him.
There's a difference, right? There's a
clear and DeMar Hamlin thing. You're right. No, it's the DeMar Hamlin thing.
There's that, and there's another difference. The other difference is that you have Josh Allen versus Drake May. Late career Josh Allen. You have late career Josh Allen. And so as long as you're making these AFC championship games, as long as you're making the second round of the playoffs, this idea that like, oh, well, the answer here is to fire Sean McDermott. The answer is for him to take all of the blame. You can't do that.
No.
You have to wonder where the fuck is James Cook. Now, maybe Sean McDermott should have stepped in the way you're talking about. I'm all the way with you on that. But where I'm not with you is this idea that Joe Brady doesn't deserve 30% of the blame for putting together a games plan that didn't feature James Cook. Now, I just brought up that James Cook had a conversion for a first down in one of his carries and a touchdown in another one of his carries in the second half. In the first half, he was even more dominant, and he only touched the ball 4 times. This idea that, like, you're going to be like, nah, it doesn't matter. Ty Johnson was the right decision. He doesn't deserve any of it. It's fucking nonsense. What are you talking about? Like, the idea that we're going to the camera and be like, no, Dalton Kincaid should have caught that. What are you talking about? You should have been in that situation in the first place. You should have should never been in that situation. You should have stuck with James Cook. You should have stuck with Josh Allen. And Dalton Kincaid and Matt Collins and Dawson Knox are what they are. They are the side pieces. They are there for like a play here, a play there. And that's why, by the way, that's how the Chiefs got burned by Matt Collins. And hell, Trent McDuffie was on Matt Collins. And he still got burned because Matt Collins does what Matt Collins does, which is there's a play here, a play there, where he, gets loose and he makes a big catch. That's what Matt Collins does. He's done all his entire career. But this idea that you're going to turn Matt Collins into the number one receiver is as stupid as turning Ty Johnson into the number one running back. They're stupid ideas. And if you do that in an AFC championship game, you can't give Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo the credit they deserve because you're sitting there going like, what the fuck was going on the other sideline? And that's how that's the difference. To finish up, to go full circle, that's the difference between this loss and the loss of 3 years ago in the 13 seconds. In the loss of 3 years ago in the 13-second game, right, you hurt yourself by playing this prevent defense that allowed Mahomes to get into field goal range with a bunch of scrambles and a great throw to Kelsey. In this loss, you hurt yourself on offense by having a dumb game plan. Dumb. And there is no other word for it. Any game plan that says sit the Pro Bowler except for 13 times is stupid, right? That's just dumb. Whenever you find yourself thinking that, right? Whenever you find yourself as a head coach, this is my advice to all head coaches in all sports. Whenever you find yourself thinking, you know what, let's just leave Grant Williams open for 13 threes, or let's leave Dylan Brooks open, even though he's draped 8 threes already. Let's just do it. Who cares? He's never going to do it. You need to check yourself in the moment. And Vince, go ahead, argue with me. Tell me there's some better coach out there. Tell me that Sirianni. Tell me there is some better coach out there. I know you're shaking. That's why I made the joke. Tell me there's some other coach out there who has had so much more success than Sean McDermott has that you're able to go get right now. And one last thing.
Okay.
I get it that you want Bill Belichick. I understand. He is not at North Carolina because he wants to coach. He is at North Carolina for the same reason that any man goes to North Carolina, and that is to tap that ass. That's the reason that he's there. He is there to tap that 25-year-old ass that is willing to sleep with a 70-year-old fat Bill Belichick for the money. That's why he's there. And for the record, if I was in Bill Belichick's shoes and that was the decision I had to make, and I'm the closest to 70 of either of these hosts, by the way, for anybody. I know you can't see Vince because he's not on camera. I'm older than Vince. In the event that I had to make the same decision, right, and my choice was I can get paid to go to North Carolina, tap my girlfriend's ass, and get paid a lot of money, leave my son the job, or I can stay in retirement and this girl is going to break up with me, I would go to North Carolina. That is a normal decision and it has nothing to do with football. Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are older than me. I'm going to be 29 this year, so I appreciate these guys, but no. I think you're right. I mean, I know some Bills fans that I talked to, some will want Brian Daboll. I know JB will make some jokes about that, but by the way, shout out to Bonnie Blue. I'm also available. So is JB and maybe Ralph. But anyways, let me focus here. No, in all seriousness, no, you're right, bro. I mean, because bro, I always play this game with you and Ralph, and it's a fun game because, and it's fair. But some people would say, well, it's time to get rid of Sean because it's the exact same shit every fucking year. And I get that point because I just saw a take from RG3. He compared the Bills actually to Josh Allen to Phillip Rivers, talented, but his talent is going to be wasted because I think his point was the coach, or maybe it's because you're playing 15 every year.
RG3 should not be talking at all about wasted talent. Nobody in the entire time I've been watching football has wasted more than Griffin III. Continue.
No lies detected. No lies.
No, he's not lying. I mean, but yeah, but his point was pretty much, because Allen is pretty much, playing 15 almost every year, and you have to beat 15 in order to go to the Super Bowl. So I think that was his fair point. But the Phillip Rivers point, yeah. But yeah, that's all, Ralph and JB. And we'll see what the Bills' plans are in the offseason. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I get the point and all too. So where are you gonna go at this point if you're the Bills at least? So you just gotta keep punching the wall and see if you can bust through at the end of it and all too as well.
My thing was, and I was hoping for them to do it. I'm sorry, JB, but I just want to give my take about Buffalo And I mean, they tried. They tried. By the way, people were like, "Oh, where was Amari Cooper?" Because they traded for him too, right? See, for me at least, right? And they tried it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, so I had to go get CMC because I wanted them to get a better running back. I like James Cook. No offense to James Cook, really good running back. For me, I'm like, could you just imagine if they just did what Philadelphia did and what the Ravens did, just
Yeah.
add like a Derrick Henry, like a CMC with Josh, because they're relying on Josh Allen every fucking year, bro. I mean, no, me, JB always talk about it. Like, bro, no offense to Shakur, no offense to Kincaid, they're good players, but he needs give him number one running back,
Yeah.
and give him a number one receiver. Like, fuck, just go, but like, bro, me and you
Yeah.
talk about it on space every year, like every year. Same with Betting Monster. They said, bro, Buffalo relies off Josh Allen a lot, a lot. Bro, do what San Francisco did. Do what Philadelphia did. Go get the running back. But listen, but they love their system though. They love James Cook. They love Ty Johnson. Now I don't know why they love Ty Johnson, but it is what it is. It's the system. I mean, and Jamie, you just got to get used to it. I'm with you, but it is what it is. It's the system. I mean, look at the Eagles, right? They got Saquon Barkley, and the other running back they have is what's his name? What's his name?
Gainwell.
What?
Gainwell.
Who? Yeah. So, bro, it's all about the system. You might not agree with it, but that's what it is. So that's how I feel. And JB, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
Oh, of course.
I agree that it's that he needs another weapon, but I don't think that they need another running back. I think they developed James Cook. I think James Cook is a number one running back, whether or not he's number two like Saquon Barkley is or number one on the overall list, right? I think that he's not the problem. James Cook, I mean, he had 13 carries. He scored 2 touchdowns and got 4 other first downs in his 13 carries. I don't know what you want a guy to do if he's that effective on only 13 carries. He's your number one running back. From there, right, you're like, okay, well, what do you need? Well, let's just trade away Stephon Diggs. Now, it works out this year because Stephon Diggs got injured for Houston, but, like, you need to replace that. I like Amari Cooper. I think he's fine. I don't think he's as good as Stephon Diggs. I don't think there's, like, a massive argument to sit there and be like, yeah, they're the same player. No, he served a role. He did the best he could. Again, like, so I guess where I would heartily disagree with you, Vince, is that they are trying different things. And example number one is that
I agree with that. They are.
Right? They got rid of Ken Dorsey and they have Joe Brady now. Like,
they doubled down. Like, Joe Brady was showing out the run game last year, at least, in my opinion. They doubled down it this year. That's why I give McDermott credit of falling on his sword.
Ken Dorsey helped the Browns, that's for sure. Go ahead, JV.
In terms of what you would do differently, I'll tell you what. I'll answer the question. I'll tell you what you would do differently. If you're Josh Allen, it is time to stop going on the celebrity golf circuit with Patrick Mahomes and get your ass in the film room. Get your ass in the What?
Josh? Can I get this right? How did Josh Allen not show that he was in the film room this summer? Like, I felt like his game.
I'm saying that all those celebrity events, all the times.
Okay.
All the times that you have a chance to meet Cardi B and try and butt shake with her on the Gladiator.
Oh God.
That goes out the window, and you stay focused solely on football because you know that Patrick Mahomes at this stage, right, is just better than you. At this moment, Patrick Mahomes has had more success than you, which is why it's okay for him to be on the Doritos commercials, which is why it's okay for him to be on the State Farm commercials. But you haven't had that success. Now, maybe you've had that success shaving with a Gillette razor blade, but right now you need to focus on your game, and you need to focus on getting better. And for the record, Josh Allen acknowledged that. I'm not the one making that up. He said that in the press conference that he can promise that Dalton Kincaid is going to have a better year next year, and that he's going to focus more on getting a better relationship with Dalton Kincaid because he knows what I know, which is that Patrick Mahomes is at a different level in his career than you are at this moment, which doesn't mean that you can never get there. It does mean that right now, Patrick Mahomes has had more success than Josh Allen. What a shocker. I'm making such a bold statement there.
Anything else on the Bills? Do we got anything else on the Bills now?
Just that they shouldn't treat James Cook like Al Horford, which would transition us to the next topic.
Yeah, I was going to. Looks like I'll leave the Chiefs alone at least. And I think we got enough AFC Championship game
Yeah.
analysis at least. So we'll.
Yeah, we can talk about next week on my show. You know what I mean? Next week, yeah,
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 definitely. We'll talk about the picks
yeah.
and stuff like that too, and also. But since these guys are eager to talk a little NBA basketball and all,
Yes, sir.
let's talk about. Let me talk about the Eastern standings real quick. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers at 37-9. Celtics after an annoying ass Dylan Brooks game last night are at the second seed at 32-15. Knicks 31-16, Bucks 26-18 at the four seed, surprising. Indiana
Mm-hmm.
Pacers at the 20 are
Yes, sir.
25-20 in the five. The Miami Heat are in the playoffs right now at
Mm.
23-22. We'll talk about their
Hmm.
shenanigans and all in the locker
Yeah.
room and all the extra stuff in the with the GM and all. We got the Magic holding into water. I think Franz Wagner's finally back for them too as well. So they see if they can pick it up. But they're at 24-24. Pistons round out the top eight at 23-23. Hawks at 9, 22-24. Bulls at 20-27.
Focusing
And
on
I wouldn't
football, that's
mention
why.
the 11 seed and all, but it is kind of important because this was supposed to be a threat up against the Boston Celtics this year.
Allegedly.
I am so proud that I had labeled them a loser at free agency too as well in the off season. I'm going to clip that for my YouTube and all if this continues for them. But we got the Sixers and the 11 seed at 17-27 and also. We got our surprises obviously with Cleveland
Yeah.
and the Magic early in the season. I just think the injuries are finally getting to them.
Yeah,
So that's why they
yeah,
fall off a little bit. We got the Pistons at 500 and all. I think they have 8 more wins than what
yeah.
they had last year because I think they had 15 wins last year and all too as well.
It's so funny.
Funny. And then even the Hawks are 2 games below 500, but they've had some big wins this year. I think 2 against Cleveland, 1 against Boston. Had a big win against the Knicks in the Cup game too as well. Honestly, so they had an interesting season. Dyson Daniels has honestly been a revelation and all too as well. Should be an all defensive team representative of the season cut out this year and all too as well at the guard position with the amount of steals he's had throughout the season and all. If we add it up all together, it's kind of
Hmm.
ridiculous and all because he's had some 6 steal games. 5 steal games, like had a streak of 3 games of 5 steals and more and all. So Vince, what surprise do you have before we get into the Miami Heat? We'll say
I
for
got you. I got you. Yeah,
but
yeah.
what surprises have or what's going on in the Eastern Conference that has surprised you, shocked you, or what expectations have teams met at least in your opinion, at least on the Eastern
Well, I
Conference?
got some jokes. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
funny that the Pistons last year hired Monte for a lot of money, and then guess what? He gets blamed. Someone doesn't get the fault, like JB said. Everybody else's fault, like Monte when he gets fired. You hired JB Biggerstaff, and then you signed Tobias Harris, by the way, former Sixer, by the way, and then now they're the 8th seed. Right? So. But this is why I love the NBA, Ralph and JB, because it changes every second, right? I saw the Phoenix Suns, as they always say in Arizona, a storm is coming. They were the 5th seed, and now they're like what, the 13th seed, 12th seed. Yeah, things has changed, hasn't it? And then they trade for Nick Richards, a Hornet. Anyways, let me focus here. So, and then the Hawks were, I believe, they were the what, the 5th seed, 4th seed, and then now all of a sudden, now they're falling apart. Now they're the 9th seed. But shout out to Dyson Daniels. That was a great trade. I mean, because the Pelicans, Jesus Christ, they cannot help themselves getting injured by almost every year. So they're pretty much the same. So to answer to your question, Raul, I mean, I didn't have the Cavs number one.
No, me
But
either.
shout out to Kenny Atkinson. And lo and behold, all you needed was to hire Kenny Atkinson over JB Bickerstaff because I knew Kenny was going to be a good coach for them because he's familiar with Jared Allen, he's familiar with Caris LeVert for Brooklyn, and I think Brooklyn fired up Kenny for no reason because all Kenny Atkinson did was tell KD, I am not playing your boy, Andre Jordan. Lo and behold, he's washed. But guess what? Someone's got to get the blame, and so it was Kenny Atkinson. Look at that, Brooklyn, and then what did Kyrie say? I can be the coach. The end of Brooklyn, right? Look at that, Ralph Mentor. But anyways, but with that being said, I mean, I'm already surprised Boston number 2, no surprise there. The Knicks number 3, no surprise. I am surprised about Milwaukee being number 4, but it is what it is. Good for Doc Rivers for now. And they possibly might get Bradley Beal. We shall see. Look at that, JB, a former Wizard might go there. We shall see because they're trying to get rid of Chris Middleton. We'll see what taking team will take that contract. Pacers, no surprise there. Miami. I mean, let's be real, Rob. Miami will be in that range 7 to 8, and 6 and 8. So I'm not really surprised with them. We know Sproles is a good coach.
Yeah.
He coacher. Shout out to Joy Taylor. We love you. Okay, Magic. Obviously, they should be up there, but obviously injuries are affecting them. And yeah, other than that, like the Sixers. Man, bro, we can make a lot of jokes with Nick Nurse. I mean, you can say, well, the Raptors had the better depth. I mean, they had
Make
Kyle
the
Lowry,
jokes. Make the jokes.
Kawhi Leonard. Um, we can say playoff P and Paul George. Remember Caleb Martin, JB, and also got Andre Drummond. So, and lo and behold, they're hurt now, and yeah, my team is pretty much playing what's that AAA team with the Sixers? Ralph Mentor. Pretty much that's pretty much.
AAR.
Exactly. The Delaware 86er. That's pretty much what we're dealing with tonight. So look at me making jokes already. But yeah. But other than that, Ralph, I'm not really shocked that the only shock was the Cavs. But
Yeah.
hey, good for Donovan Mitchell. By the way, breaking news. I don't know if y'all know, Donovan Mitchell is a Mets fan. Look at that, JB. He's excited about his Mets. But other than that, I'm done.
JB, same question to you, man. How do you feel about the Eastern Conference and all? Is anybody
So,
to you and all?
sticking with the Eastern Conference as opposed to going to all over the NBA, just sticking with surprises in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
Well, no, I think that you should separate the conferences because I think there are two different storylines going on in each one.
Mm-hmm.
The most positive surprise, Vince is right. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers. We definitely thought they would be better. I have them as a tier 2 contender, and they've escalated to a tier 1 contender. The specific part that I'm really surprised by is Evan Mobley's development on offense. I did not think that was going to happen. That has happened. It has changed every reasonable analysis, because I know you come to me for when I stop joking and I start doing serious analysis, right? The serious analysis is that Evan Mobley's development changes the way you have to guard the Cleveland Cavaliers. If he's hitting 3-pointers, if he's on the outside stretching the floor, that is a different animal. And I don't think the league has adjusted. I think the league has considered that Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen are just unplayable together. They're still in that mindset. And the truth is that if Jarrett Allen is the only one in the post and Evan Mobley is giving him space, incredible space, able to hit 3-pointers and things like that, that is a different animal than what you were expecting to face over the course of a season and really over the course of a playoff series. Do I believe that if teams have a chance to focus, that they will be able to counteract that? The more I watch the Cleveland Cavaliers, the less certain I am that it's going to be like a simple thing. I do think the Celtics.
What do you mean by that? Simple thing. Now I got confused. I thought you were going the right way. The wrong way.
I know. You thought I was going to go the other way. I think that.
Why, though? Yeah.
No, I know. I'll explain it. Because I think that if Max Strus is on one corner and Evan Mobley is on the other corner, and they're the ones who are both in the corner 3 spots, that opens the lanes up for Darius Garland and for Donovan Mitchell to do drive and kicks, which essentially is one of the best things that the Celtics do. Like, I think that's the real – I think that's sort of Celtics brand of basketball, right, where one person there. And so then what I'm really trying to figure out, if I'm a Celtics fan or if I'm a Thunder fan, is can the Celtics or the Thunder play against that Horns offense where you have 2 guys in the corner, both of whom can make threes? Because whatever else I want to say about Max Strus, you know that I hate Max Strus. You know that I think Max Strus sucks. I am not going to sit around and pretend like he can't hit threes at a clip if he's left alone in the corner. And you're not going to hear me do that. I think that he can. Similarly, if Evan Mobley's 3-point shot is for real, the way it has been this season, that changes things. And if we have to focus, like if we're in a 7-game series, would I pick the Celtics or the Thunder over the Cavaliers? Yes. Would I feel great about it? Would I feel like, oh, no, it's going to be 5 games the way I think you're nodding, Ralph? Like, no, it's going to be simple. I would not. I think that a couple of bounces of the ball here and there, a couple of transition threes, and then all of a sudden you could be looking at an upset. If you're the Celtics or the Thunder, I'm starting to give Cleveland that kind of credit as I watch them more and more. That to me seems like a completely, surprising thing that I didn't think I would be at this point in the season. And then also remaining on the positive side, although a little bit less so. I'm a little surprised that the New York Knicks are able to win this consistently with the injuries that they've had.
For sure.
Really?
I thought that they would have faltered. Maybe they would still be the 3 seed, but I thought that they would be, more than a game back. I thought
Yeah.
they would be 4 or 5 games, 6 games back, and that they've been able to survive with the injuries to Mitchell Robinson, and Josh Hart has missed a couple of games. Like, that's surprising. Like, okay, but also, like, I give them no chance against the Celtics or the Cavaliers. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, who is Jalen Brunson going to guard? And then who is Karl Anthony Towns going to guard? And we'll just put either one of them in switches up and down the floor, and we'll just roast them. On the negative side, I am surprised that Jimmy Butler didn't call the entire second Miami Heat team, the B squad of the Miami Heat team, to challenge the starters. And I know why he didn't do that.
Did that again, bro.
No, I know why he didn't do that, because he knows that he might have suffered a broken arm the way Duncan Robinson tried to break Jaylen Brown's arm. That's why he didn't do that, right? I know what's going on. Instead, he took the coward's way out and just walked out. The same way he took the coward's way out against the Boston Celtics last year in the playoffs.
So funny.
And the way he left Minnesota, too.
Yeah, whatever's, well, but the difference is that he left
There's a
Minnesota,
difference. Yeah.
right? He took the B squad and challenged Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns and came out ahead. He didn't do that shit with Miami. This time around, he was like, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. And I will tell you this, I am more pissed off at the Jimmy Butler situation than anything non-actual basketball related.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I love Jamie Portis. Here we go.
Here we go. I know you guys want to talk about this one, so go ahead.
No, I do want to talk about this. I'm going to bring it over to you, Ralph. I know that I have a great job. I know that you have a great job. I know that we both hustle to make our money. I know that we do podcasting on the side, but that we both are very focused on our money. Every time I see Jimmy Butler missing a game, on suspension, giving an interview, all I can think of, this guy is making $53 million to not have to do any work.
Right?
And I can't imagine that Pat Riley doesn't feel the exact same way. Like, I'm paying this guy $53 million. I can't even get a game out of him. I can't even get a good sport out of him.
That's why he's taking them every chance he gets, bro. Pat Riley's a hardworking individual and all. Like, he can't stand for that. But go ahead.
Most of us are, and I will tell you this:
most are, yeah.
I experience the Milwaukee nightlife or the Miami Heat nightlife, I would much rather stay in Miami than I would Milwaukee. I'll tell you that right now. And so, in the disappointment scale, I'm disappointed in the Miami Heat. I get it that they're the 6th seed. I think that their entire culture has just gone to shit. I think that Heat culture doesn't even exist anymore. While we're on the topic of teams that I'm wildly disappointed in, I am wildly disappointed in the Philadelphia 76ers, completely out of the playoffs right now. I mean, I expected them to not be good. I was with Ralph Mentor that they might be like the 9 or the 10 seed or the 8th seed, but I didn't think they were going to be completely out of the playoffs. I certainly thought the Pistons were still going to occupy that spot. And to see them at the 11th,
yeah, they're above them.
Is like that's just crazy talk. It's bonkers. And as far as the Milwaukee Bucks go, Jimmy Butler's not going to fix your defense. I get it that you don't like Chris Middleton. I understand that you would much rather get off the Chris Middleton contract and the Chris Middleton money and that he has some injuries. Jimmy Butler is not the answer. This isn't to say that someone else isn't the answer. I'm here to tell you that paying Jimmy Butler $53 million for next year is not the answer that you think it is, Milwaukee. So enjoy your time in the 4 seed. I don't really care. We're going to get to Celtics talk. So I'm saving my Celtics takes, even though they're part of the Eastern Conference.
No, do it now.
Oh, you want to do it now?
We're talking Eastern and Western. We're cutting it off. I got 2-hour max with you guys today. No, so, but yeah, anything Eastern Conference.
I wanted to get the Western Conference.
Yeah, what's up?
That's why I want to get the Western Conference, because I know you only got 2 hours.
All right.
We're at
do you want to have your Celtics take now, Vince?
Yeah, I want to have my Celtics take.
Yeah, have your Celtics take, Jimmy. I mean, Vince, if you had any Jimmy stuff too, you can go ahead after.
I got you. Just real quick.
He's got Jimmy Butler for the next 20.
Yeah, go.
Just real quick. I want to say happy birthday to my guy Kev O'Ban's on Thursday. His birthday's on Thursday. There you go. I love you. But have a great week, my guy Kev O'Ban. We'll see if Jimmy Butler gets straight on his birthday week. Look at that. Rob.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Give it to me. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, sir. Shout out to Slide. Listen, in all seriousness, am I surprised? Listen, am I surprised about this? I mean, bro, we talked about it during, bro. I knew this shit was gonna happen.
Yeah, of course.
In the offseason, bro, Pat Riley told Jimmy Butler to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And look what happened, bro. Like, I mean, bro, I knew this shit was to make it short. I mean, you could argue that I'll use a JB term. You guys pretty much ended the Miami Heat. Yep. And I mean, shit. I mean, and listen, man. Like, bro, the guy's 35 years old. And I feel like he was 28. Does he deserve the money? Yes, but not by his age right now, bro. And I think it's gonna be like a 4-team trade with the Bucks, Suns, and I don't know who the 4 team is gonna be. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna. I think every GM is waiting for this trade too, Ralph. And it's to me, I'm with JB. And listen, bro, I love Jimmy Butler. Which, by the way, I can't wait for Benny Monster to say on my show about Jimmy Butler because he's like, bro, Jimmy, you're not a Michael Jordan yet, but because he's old. Benny Monster's old school.
Oh.
So I mean, for me, I just can't wait for the breaking news because to me, I want this over with. And so does Pat Riley because at this point, bro, just trade the guy, bro. Why are you suspending him? Why? Just trade the guy.
You got no offers. Pat Riley is F-U-C-K.
No,
there's nothing you can do about it. You got to just take less than what you want, honestly. Memphis seems to be the team, and, you're letting Jimmy dictate that and all. You should just send him to Siberia and all. Like, that's the definition of Siberia.
That's what JB said, too.
It really is, honestly. And it's Jimmy Butler's best chance to win at this point, all too, as well. Bro, you're 35, 34, 35?
35,
yeah. 35. This is next year's the last year of that $50 million deal and all. Like, where else are you going to go? You got to take the best opportunity. Now, for both sides, you got to take the best opportunity. If it's Memphis and all.
But Ralph, the Suns love old people. That's what they do. KD, and then they like Bradley Beal, and they're like, let's trade Bradley Beal for 35-year-old Jimmy Butler. Let's go with that.
Matt should have fucked himself too by what's it called there, going after Beal so quickly and all too. It's just both teams want to make something happen, but they're kind of fucked. And you add the apron thing too. And all. But before JB gets to the Celtics, I want to talk about my expectations about the East real quick and all, because I'm surprised by the Pistons and the Hawks at least and all. I thought the Pistons would be an okay playing team. I thought the Hawks would be a lottery team this year. I'm startled on how they're holding on at least and all too as well. I'm not sure if they're dealing with injuries or the reason why they kind of fell out a little bit more too as well. But I was high on the Magic and all. Injuries suck for them and all. I thought they'd be a legit 4 seed. That's why I feel like Milwaukee's a 4 seed right now too as well, because they got lucky with a team like that kind of falling out. They could get themselves right back into it too as well and all. But the Cavs are by far the surprise at least and all. I want to talk about them because JB was right about Evan Mobley, honestly. He took whatever he was doing against the Celtics in the playoffs and all and has turned it into a full campaign so far this year and all. My questions with them at least and all, because I get that offense that JB's relaying and all, but they got to move the basketball no matter what they're doing at least and all. Got to involve Evan Mobley a lot, in my opinion, for me to take them seriously. I don't know if Garland and Mitchell are that grown or mature enough to do that at least and all too as well. I see a guy like, we'll talk about the Celtics and all, but I see a guy like Jason Tatum and Ben is annoying the shit out of me with these usage things too as well and all. But I'm seeing a guy who's letting JB be at the top of the key, run the offense at least. And all. I'm seeing a guy playing with bench guys too as well, letting paying at the bottom of the key at least and all, at the 3-point line, cook and do his thing and break down his defender and all, and take a step back too as well. I don't see Garland or Mitchell doing it at the rate that JT's doing it. And to Ben's point at least and all, he's probably doing it too much. Let's be aggressive at least and all too as well. But that's my concern with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm more impressed with the Knicks, to JB's point about how are they doing this with their injuries to my thing, really Mitchell Robinson, because you got Towns playing out of position right now. But I love their offense at least. And I know that you got an in and out thing with Jalen Brunson being your in guy and then Towns being your out guy and all too as well. It's kind of like weird to say that, but in today's NBA, it's big that if you have your big that can pull out the opponent's big and all. We're talking about Jay Allen. We're talking about the Celtics with Kristaps Porzingis and all. You're going to have someone that you have to pull out to with Karl Anthony Towns and all. I've argued that this is Karl Anthony Towns' best teammate as a number one guy in Jalen Brunson and all. And it's not saying much at least, because Jalen Brunson is great, but obviously he has his deficiencies at his height at least, but Jalen Brunson can own himself in the paint at least, and he's shown that he'll spread the ball all over the place once he gets himself in the paint with the drive and kick game that they have and all too as well. So I still think the Knicks are the truest defender to the Celtics at least and all, because I trust that they can play defense in the playoffs and all. I'm not sure with Cleveland yet. They got the guys in the front end with Mobley and Allen. I don't trust the guards in Garrett Garland and Donovan Mitchell. I think it'd be funny, but I don't trust it. With Tibbs defensively, I trust him. Are the guys going to be healthy in time for the playoffs? Fair question, so I don't know there. But their offense scares me as a Celtics fan because we're going to have to guard 100%. It wouldn't surprise me if Cleveland's offense looks like how it did last year in the playoffs too as well. Kenny Atkinson does deserve credit, and Ty Jerome's there, Sam Merrill's there, guys that were kind of hurt throughout the season. Ty Jerome completely hurt, and Sam Merrill in and out at least. You can argue Bickerstaff didn't know what to do with a guy like Sam Merrill and all. So I do credit them with Kenny Atkinson. Their offense could show out a little bit more in the playoffs. I'm just more of a wait and see. If I look at it right now, I'm scared of the Knicks offense right now because I know they're going to be able to score however they want if they're healthy at least. That's their huge thing and all. And the Magic, if they can get healthy, I'll put them in the conversation too as well of like true contending teams. Like if there's a tier 1 and a tier 2, these would be the teams I put in the tier 1 at least. I still think the Celtics are head and above heels everyone else, even though the record doesn't say it. But still at the same time though, I would still go with that. Are you okay, JB? I'm getting something that the recorder stopped. I'm making sure you're good.
I can't wait to hear this.
You're muted. Are you back?
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Guess who was trying to call me?
Ben Simmons.
Ben. He should have gotten.
Oh really? Oh really? This would be a perfect time for him in this conversation. Yeah. I got a Celtics podcast with you two and all going into the.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
But yeah, go ahead with your Celtics point at least. I just want to talk about at least my again with the Sixers. I didn't expect much from them this year, so that's why they are where they are at least and all. And but yeah, the Pistons, the Hawks, though. Real surprise teams for me, at least not at the end of it and all. But yeah, go ahead with your Celtics point at the end.
I have a lot of Celtics takes.
Go ahead.
I am disappointed in the Celtics. I am disappointed with their inability to string together wins, and I'm disappointed in Joe Mazzulla, specifically his rotation. Now last night was the most flagrant of all of them, right? I mean, the idea that you would play Xavier McDaniel with and think that that's like a lineup that you can trot out against the Houston Rockets just because they're is like stupid. But what isn't stupid is you look at forget about the Cleveland Cavaliers deficit because they were on a historic pace at the beginning of the year. They've sort of come back to where things were supposed to be.
They're at 85% winning percentage, and now they're at 80%, so they've tapered off a bit and all, that's all.
Yeah, but my point about the Celtics is that, and I know you're going to disagree with this, and I'm going to continue to make it, and no one's going to convince me of it, because this is how I feel. The absence of Charles Lee has led to these crazy lineups. That's okay. Yeah, put yourself on mute. You're welcome to laugh. That's okay. I don't care. I stand by this assessment. The idea that you would pay you have Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis at least lately, and instead of putting one of the guards, you need to break up the rest, right? Between the second and the third quarter, you need to get rest for all four of those guys. And instead of taking one of those guards and leaving them on the floor with Jason Tatum, nah, fuck that shit. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to sit all of Derek White, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jaylen Brown all at the same time and just let Jason Tatum exhaust himself. This is not normal coaching, and this is not what you do, especially when you have that kind of talent level. You split up the guards. You say, all right, Derek, you're going to play with Jason Tatum. Drew, you're going to play with Jaylen, or vice versa, whatever, or vice versa, and we would be fine, right? You could say, oh, no, Drew, you're going to play with Jason Tatum, and Derek, you're going to play with Jaylen Brown. It doesn't matter. The point is that leaving a superstar out there with the bench for extended – I get it, the lineup is positive. I understand. The idea of leaving – any starter, by the way, this is across the NBA. Anytime you have 4 stars or 3 stars, the idea of leaving a star all by themselves out there with no other starters and just being like, yeah, whatever, you can play with the bench. That's fine against like the fucking Toronto Raptors. Against the Houston Rockets, like against these teams that are like at the top of their game,
yeah,
like
Thunder,
Oh, he cut out.
You cut out. All right, cool.
Hopefully you can hear me now.
No, I can hear you. You good.
Okay, great. That kind of like lineup building is how you lose games. That's how it happens. When you're busy looking for like, well, how did we lose this game? It's because you decide that Jason Tatum is so great that it doesn't make any difference whether or not he gets any help. All we're going to do is, launch with Peyton Pritchard, and we're going to put Luke Cornett out there, and hopefully Nemius Queta.
Drew Peterson last night. Drew Peterson out of nowhere last night.
Yeah, and like what you're going to do is you're going to say, oh, well, come on, that Charles Lee isn't responsible for that. And I'm going to tell you that, yes, that's what Charles Lee did. We were talking about Joe Brady earlier in the show and about how Joe Brady should, always utilize James Cook, right? Like, this is the point, right? This is where we're at, which is that, like, Charles Lee was the lineup master. He would say, look, you can't take everybody all at once. Jason Tatum needs a break here. Jaylen Brown needs a break there. This is where we're going to get them for it. And, put these guys in, take these guys out. At this point, to my eye, the Celtics have not been doing that well. And I can point to a bunch of lineups. I'm just using the Kata lineup with X-Man last night as the latest example. But I can go all season with this shit. And so what I'm really saying, I guess, is that I'm disappointed in the Celtics lineup management. Now, is that going to be fixed by the time the playoffs roll around? Of course. Is it something that's should be like long-term work?
Break.
All-Star break is what Ralph is saying.
All-Star break, yeah.
Maybe, I'm not opposed to that. But
that's right. This is my issue with this. No. I got an issue with this.
Go.
How were the Celtics playing after the first 30 or so games of the season at least? No, how were the lineups then? I've argued that Joe Mazzulla is experimenting now and tinkering. Now, with JB and his passion at least, he's doing it a little bit too much at least, which is a fair point. We got two-way players in Drew Peterson facing a number 2 seeded Western Conference team, the Houston Rockets, last night. So it's a fair point there. Drew Peterson shouldn't be in the game unless it's a blowout or you get him blown out, one or the other at least. Not a high-tense situation. Like Xavier Tillman, to his point again, hasn't played any high-pressure situations basically since like the first 5 games of the season and all, when he didn't play well either and you haven't played him and all. So I hear him with the rotations and all. And obviously Jason Tatum playing with Cornette. It's the Cornette, Hauser, Pritchard, and who else is in that line? Jordan Walsh sometimes. I know they really mix it up and all too as well. But he is right. Jason Tatum has not consistently played with the starters, either with like Derek White by himself, Drew Holiday by himself. Like it has not been consistent and all. But again, stop with the Charles Lee nonsense. Joe Mazzulla is playing around way too much right now. His lineups were just fine the first 30 games of the season. The team was at I can't remember the record, but they're sitting there at like a 25-4 clip, I think, and all. It was something like that. And and now, like since December, where they have not played well, this is where Mazzulla's been playing around with the rotations a lot and all too as well, especially with KP coming in, trying to figure out his minutes too as well. Then Kate has been in and out, and also there's been a lot of inconsistencies there. Again, I'm not concerned about it. I see a team trying to have their players coast, physically wise, when Drew Holiday's not playing for like left knee to left pot, like I don't even know how they come up with these words and all too as well. KP, they've been resting. Al Horford has not looked good since December too as well. I'm kind of worried about age. Hopefully he proves me wrong and all too as well. But they've been managing those guys too as well and all. It's been messing with the lineup and all. I get the rotation part, but again, Derek White has not played well since December too as well and all. That could be part of the rotation because
not 2 games ago against the Mavericks, he kicked everybody's ass.
Yeah, but for 2 months though, he's been playing like shit though, in my opinion, if not just mid right now. And he's played like an all-star, in my opinion, over the first quarter of this season and all, than last year, most of the season, or even the year before when Marcus Smart was playing over him and all. He was playing great and all. This is probably his worst stretch and all. But the rotation thing is just not a big deal to me. I just see a team that's coasting right now. Not coasting where they don't want to win these games at least, no, but I just see them more managing more than going all out in these games and all. I think you see it with the effort and all. Last night was a good sense of effort and all too as well, but still kind of struggled. Oh, they didn't struggle.
Who
it's actually a good game.
Responsible for the management? Who is responsible for managing the team?
Mazzulla. Yeah.
Get your fucking lineup straight if you are responsible for managing the team.
Not till after the All-Star break. It's gonna be. I keep telling you guys. I've been telling you guys this since it's been like this since December. He's not gonna stop. This is something he's been talked about too, honestly. So I just see him. It's like with the Jason Tatum lineups too as well. I personally don't mind it because it puts more pressure on him to be that point Tatum at least now too as well. Now can he put better players around him so he can actually succeed and all? That would help at least. But I just see Mazzulla developing a bit too much at least and all. I totally agree there. But at the same time, I don't see it as a bad thing at least and all. Like I'm seeing Jaylen Brown at the top of the key running the offense and all. Like that's only going to make him better.
No one's arguing. No one's arguing that. At least I'm
That's my thing with
that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown aren't amazing. I'm not sitting around arguing that. I'm also not arguing with you about that Derek White was in a little bit of a slump to start the year. I might be arguing with you that Derek White should have missed the game just after blowing apart the Mavericks, but that's another.
Yeah, but that's a management thing right there, though. Like, if it was a very important game, is he playing? He's playing in that. He's not sitting off of a shin and all too. So that's what I mean by the management part. Like, that's why we're not getting these guys. How many games has the starting five played? Is it 10 games, 12 games, or something like that? Could be a little bit more at least and all. But
you can do it because you have 4 stars in the first place.
Yeah.
If someone needs less minutes, right, you can pull an Al Horford with them and only give them 15 minutes by utilizing Peyton Pritchard and the Sam Hausers, right? You can do that shit while allowing them to still play through their struggles. That's what I mean by management. When you're basically like, what does JB mean when he says manage? Fucking figure out your rotations, right?
It's not going to happen.
No, well, then fucking make it happen. What is your job and what is my job? My job is to code these fucking charts. What is your job? Your job is to coach the fucking Celtics and manage the goddamn rotations. That's what you do for a living. That's what I do for a living. So figure out your stupid rotations and then start to rest people. Stop giving me lineups with Neemias Queta and Xavier Tillman on the fucking floor at the same time. That's absolute nonsense. And nothing you're going to say is going to convince me otherwise. Nobody in their right mind is playing that lineup against an athletic Houston Rockets team.
No, I agree. Why are we doing that? I agree. But again, the guy is experimenting, though. Let Mazzulla do his thing and all. Like, I don't know. I don't got a huge issue with it. Not really.
There is garbage time available for many people to experiment with Aiden Springer and to figure out whether or not he's available.
I like James Springer last night. He fit.
And there's time to experiment with Drew Peterson in the middle of the third quarter.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But this idea that you are going to deliberately play unathletic people against the most athletic team in the NBA, like, dude, you were not up 30, you were up 9. Yeah. Fucking, like, do a normal thing. And he doesn't do it because he's busy playing. He's thinking about like what Ralph is saying. I'm Joe Mazzulla. I can experiment all day. Experiment when you're winning.
This is why I appreciate the football season. I could not care right now about the NBA stuff right now. This early into the season. We are halfway through it, but still, no. Let's give Vince some love with the Western Conference things before we close it out.
Yeah, Western. Sorry.
Thank you. The Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West. Hey.
We have the Oklahoma City Thunder at an impressive 82 win percentage clip right now, 37-8. Surprise team. I think everybody's surprised at the Houston Rockets being number 2 and not continuously winning. Even though the Rockets' Dylan Brooks game annoyed me and all, the Amon Thompson game was real as fuck, and I'm very happy for that performance and all too as well. The guy's looking like a mini Giannis. What they thought Jonathan Kuminga was supposed to be with the Warriors, that's looking like Amon Thompson right now.
Exactly.
I would love seeing it honestly too as well, doing everything. I love the got a rebound over somebody and then just dunked it as soon as he got the rebound. I forgot who he rebounded. It wasn't even paying. Maybe it was Cornette or something. It was an impressive rebound also. He had a great game. The Dylan Brooks 10 threes game, fake as a motherfucker, but it is what it is at least. But Amon Thompson is real. They really do got something over there in Houston, and also we'll definitely talk about them and all about surprises and things like that. But we got the Grizzlies at number 3, 31-16, the game behind the Houston Rockets. Denver Nuggets, I say surprise right now because they've dealt with injuries with Aaron Gordon. Now Jamal Murray playing himself into shape throughout the season and all. But they're sitting here at 28-18 and all. Most of their wins over the last few stretches have been against below 500 teams. I thought I would make that out at least. No, but you beat what's in front of you. You are where you are. I think it's impressive, and all Jokic is obviously competing for another MVP and all too as well, chasing number 4 I think it would be if he won this year. Vince's Lakers is why I wanted to get the Western Conference in. They're number 5 at 26-18, and all the return of Jared Vanderbilt has finally happened after a year plus in my opinion and all too as well. But I think you guys had a big win against the Charlotte Hornets last night too as well, correct? Yeah. So you guys are sitting there at number 5. The in-city
win against the Charlotte Hornets.
Well,
okay, JB.
What a great phrase.
JB. At least we're beating team when it matters when they should be. But keep going.
Exactly. That's I'll give the Denver Nuggets credit for being number 4.
JB Portis.
But number 6, the in-city rival with the Clippers and all. You can say it's impressive too as well. James Harden, I believe, has been out lately. Kawhi Leonard is just getting back into the lineup. Norm Powell is having himself an all-star year and all. But with Tyronn Lue at the helm, 26 and 20 at the number 5 seed. A surprise team at the number 7 seed, but they were lower, honestly, with the T-Wolves, 25 and 21. They kind of picked it up lately. I think they won again last night, too, as well. I can't remember who they faced. Who they faced last night? Can I get it real quick? Yeah, they had to beat the Hawks. Not commandingly. I guess the Hawks came back. I saw it was a blowout a little bit, but they're at number 7. Number 8, the Phoenix Suns. I guess they figured some things out. They're sitting at the 8.
Storm is coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Number 9.
Look at JP's face.
I didn't even see it. Number 9, a surprise, but obviously injuries is a huge reason why they're probably number 9 of the Dallas Mavericks and all. We'll see. And number 10 of the Kings at 24 and 22, they kind of picked it up after the firing of Mike Brown and all. Kind of slowed down lately and all. They did win last night, so let's see if they can pick it up again. The Warriors at number 11 at 22 and 20. And I got to mention the Spurs at number 12, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, probably should win it. And San Antonio Spurs, and should have been a starter. For the All-Star game too as well. Fuck these old niggas too as well. No offense, Vince would love.
Yeah, I love Brown. Yeah.
but Victor's having a great year, honestly. For at least. No, kind of, they're inconsistent, obviously, with the 20 and 23 record, but they would be right there with the Jazz, in my opinion, if it weren't for Wemby and all. But I wanted to bring those 12 teams up at least. So I think every team there is legit of getting into at least a playing scenario and all too as well, and maybe make some noise in the playoffs at least. No, maybe not. But I think all these 12 teams are at least legit enough to be in the playing scenario and see what happens going further and all. But I'll go back to Vince first at least. No, this is your conference at least and all.
Yes.
What are your surprises? What are your surprises, good or bad at least and all?
Well,
has anyone met your expectations and all? Then you can leave space for your Lakers and all too.
Well, you're gonna laugh at this. And you and with JB, because Britt told me to tell JB, thank you for you're praising her Rockets, but you also made fun of Jason Tate. So she appreciate you, JB. So there you go. You know what I mean? This is why you bring entertainment, JB. This is why we love you. So Britt wants me to shout you out. There you go. Especially what you said about the Rockets last year. So there you go. That's number 1. Number 2. Now, am I surprised about number 1, number 2, number 3? Again, they're young teams and they have good coaching and good for them. That's why I'm going to shout out to my guy Brando and all the Rockets fans and Tate obviously. And my guy JX and everybody that are Rockets fan, my guy Zeke, because they deserve it, because they went from Steven Silas, that guy boy, he's in the assistant with JB's bigger staff. Still don't know how, but it is what it is, right? But how Ime Udoka is changing their culture in Houston, I like it. OKC, no surprise. Memphis, actually, Rob, you said it. I'm my boy Ricky G. I'm sorry, I almost let my phone drop. No, in all seriousness, you said I think Memphis, when healthy, would be number 2, but right now number 3. So no surprise there. I'm not surprised. And shout out to John Morant. As long as John Morant's focused, not with the guns, but as long as he's focused, Memphis will be fine.
No blinkies.
Exactly, but you get the idea. Right. For Denver, no surprise there. My Lakers, I'm really, really impressed because minus the injury what JJ Redick is dealing with, I'm actually really am impressed. People call him a podcaster. Me and Rob are podcasters. So is JB. We make jokes right with podcasters, right? But listen, JB, you can laugh all you want, but listen, I can tell you this right now. JJ Redick is like Aaron Rodgers. He goes to the darkness and he goes to his house in the dark and watches film. And you got to give JJ Redick some credit. His
house is on fire. What do you want to do? You want to You want to go towards the fire? Of course he's in the darkness.
He said it before his house was on fire, okay? Goddamn. But anyways, I am happy that Vando is back because him coming back is very huge, Rob, as you can see. Which, by the way, I don't think Rui's, by the way, hurt or Gabe Vincent because I think JJ Redick is trying to be like what you're saying, Rob, what Joe Mazzulla is doing, testing out the real depth. And actually, I love the starting 5 a lot with that starting 5 last night, and I hope they keep it that way because I understand why they start Rui because of the contract. Let's be real, because of politics, which I agree with Casino. But hopefully they stay that way with that starting 5 because I love that starting 5. So hopefully we can get a big next week, and we shall see what happens. Because I know what big that I want. Well, we talked about it, but we'll see if it happens. I doubt it, but we shall see. Let's go Rob Lowe. All right. Number 6 with the Clippers. I'm not surprised
Did
actually
you just
because
say
I told
Rob
you.
Lowe? Wait a minute, freeze. Did you say like the guy from like Hollywood? You think that he's
Yes,
running
yes,
the
yes,
Lakers?
yes. He looks like him too.
Like,
I have to make some jokes, baby. But hey, I gotta make some jokes. He actually does
The
look like
guy who
him now.
runs the game show?
Yes, yes.
The one who's like
oh
dealing
yeah,
with the sport? Okay.
oh yeah.
Yes,
Come on now.
yes. But also, I'm a very kind person, like JB. Like you see, JB, you're the devil, and I'm the I'm the angel guy because I give these teams credit, like the Clippers, man, because people are like, oh my goodness, the Clippers are cursed, which that's fair, they are. However,
Yeah.
their depth is really good because let's be real, without Kawhi Leonard, they are winning some games.
Mhm.
Ty Lue is a really good coach. Now people are gonna be like JB Fortis, like to make some jokes. Rob Mitchell like to make some jokes. Ty Lue hasn't won a championship. His LeBron pretty much same thing with Spoelstra, by the way, too. And same thing with playing vocal, laugh out loud too, right? But anyway, you guys get the point, right?
Same thing with the Clippers, just as a whole. They haven't won a championship since LeBron. They haven't won a championship.
Okay. Can I finish, JB? God damn it! But listen. At the end of the day, I mean, their off-season signings, they were terrific, man. Especially for the depth. I know JB's gonna laugh, but remember Chris Dunn from Utah? He's a good
Yeah.
defender, right? Kevin, Kevin Porter Jr. Listen, now we made fun of those moves because but again, Ty Lue is a player's coach. And listen, right now, as we speak, the Clippers are to succeed, and I do think if they're healthy, it's a big if though. If like me and you do, JB. If, but again, if the Clippers are healthy, I do think the Clippers can challenge the West, especially with Ty Lue as coach. Now, number 7, the Timberwolves. Well, I'm actually surprised, Rob, because a lot of people that we talked to, like
Yeah.
Ricky G and obviously my guy CL, they thought Minnesota was going to be a top 3 seed because I get it because they got Rando and obviously Dante DiVincenzo, but yeah, I'm a bit surprised too. Hopefully their coach does not get injured just like last year. That was crazy. And number 8, the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns.
I forgot about that Chris Finch's shit.
Exactly. Because JB called me and be like, oh my Jesus Christ, I've never seen a coach getting injured that way. All right, number 8 though, the Phoenix Suns. See, I'm giving them credit. Now JB will not give them credit because you gotta believe a storm was coming, right? Especially with that Nick Richards trade. And now we'll see what happens with Nurkic, right? We love the Tyus Jones signing. So I mean, for now, the Suns are number 8. Now the Mavericks are number 9 because of injuries. I mean, look, they are because Dirk Lively's now hurt, right? And Luka Doncic's now hurt too. Now Max Kleber, he's hurt. That's a big loss. I know JB's not gonna agree because he thinks Max Kleber sucks, but but again, no, those are key injuries, and when you have those key injuries, you're going to lose, and that's why they're in the 9th seed right now.
Yeah.
Now the Kings. Lo and behold, they like to blame the black man, right, Mike Brown, right? And since I'm not gonna lie, since then they are winning games. Now we'll see if they make the play-in. We'll see if they get more wins.
Yeah,
But now the Warriors, look at that podcast. JJ Redick is undefeated against the Golden State Warriors. Look at that. But I think the biggest miss for the Warriors though. The reason why I say that because everybody, like my boy JB Fortis and the media, called him podcaster for a reason. He got hired, but you have to be amazed because his assistants are Scott Brooks and Nick McMillan. Really good assistant coaches. Look at that. Got to give JJ credit with that one. Well, let me keep going. Okay. With the Warriors at least, right, Ralph? I mean, I think losing DeAnthony Melton was big, and you can obviously see that because they miss him. They miss him because since
That is quality analysis that you won't hear anywhere else.
JB Porter's typical JB, but other than that, I am not surprised with the rest pretty much because we know what Portland is. Shout out to Chelsea Villa, but we know they're rebuilding, and the Pelicans they're there because they're hurt, and the Jazz. I mean, love their role players, but I think they're just planning it for the future, and yeah, we know what they are.
For your Laker for this podcast joke for JJ, and I was curious on Darvin Ham's record through 44 games, and I found it on Twitter.
I'm saying it right now on your show. If Darvin Ham was coaching that last week game against the Celtics, we're getting blown out. I even tweeted about it. We're getting blown out.
2023, 20-24. 2024, 22-22. JJ Redick this season, 26.
You have to be impressed, baby. Look, podcaster. You got to be impressed. He's a smart man. He's a good player.
And you got.
Tell me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me. Do players are really smart, JB? They are.
And one more thing. I want to look up one more thing. Because I think he's got.
Are you looking up advice of what to do if your house is on fire?
No, no,
Okay, I
no,
was,
no,
it.
no.
while Vince was talking, that's what I was looking up. I was looking at fireman's advice for when your house is on fire. You're in the middle of a wildfire. Should you stay there and relax, or should you leave? And lo and behold, the firefighters think that you should go to work. They think that you should not just sit there when your house is on fire.
I'll just say this. At least we believe in global warming, unlike somebody else. Okay, I'll just go ahead.
Go ahead.
Good.
I was looking for the MVP ladder. I thought AD was still up top of it. He's nowhere near the top.
He's not gonna win it. No Laker, bro. No Laker has won that since Kobe's. R.I.P. But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead though. Yeah, how do you feel about the Western Conference? How do you?
Well, I want to debunk this myth that like you're supposed to stay in the house when it's in the middle of a wildfire, and your house is burning down all around you. And all of a sudden, you decide to like pay more attention to your team. Vince is bitching about you before the wildfires start. Saying, he needs to spend more time with the team. He needs to spend more time, working on plays, working on lineups, and then all of a sudden. There's a giant wildfire in California. Houses are burning down. His house is burning down, and he leaves the house. So I just want to commend J.J. Redick for how did you improve as a coach? I'll tell you how you improved as a coach. Your house was on fire, and you walked out of it. What do I go do? And the answer is, I go coach the team. I go coach the team that I was hired to coach at. So yes, the Lakers' improvement to J.J. Redick's house burning down is a 1-to-1 comparison. 1-to-1. How did this happen?
Yeah.
You can see it. Like, here's how I was before my house burned down. Here's how I was after my house burned down.
Yeah.
And you just gonna ignore that and be like, okay, it had nothing to do with this. That's where you're at, Vince?
Yeah. No, this is okay. I want to answer Ralph's question. And JB, you're making me laugh, man.
Ask Ralph a question about fires.
No, I'm not going to. No, stop it. Let's talk about sports. We're not talking about fires.
Stop this, please.
Yeah, exactly. I saw a baseball fan playing with fireworks. One of the Dodgers won the World Series. So there we go. Let's focus here. And he got his head taken off. So look at that. All right, let's focus here. So. Ralph, so to answer to your question, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, the only team who I fear as a Laker fan myself in the West, and they're our daddy for now, are the Nuggets. Now the other teams, I'm going to keep it real with you. If we make that one move next week, I would love another scoring guard. I would love this. Obviously, the biggest need is the center. So we can get those two parts. I like our chances when we're healthy. So, but I think our biggest, like Casina even said it on Twitter. I think he's the biggest threat for the Lakers in the West. It's always been. It's the Denver. Now, I do think the West to me is going to be interesting though, Ralph, because. Like, listen, I said it on my show, like yesterday, I think 2 days ago, and like people are like, oh, Vince, you're crazy. By the way, how they're playing defense, I like the Rockets' depth. I would not be surprised if they can go all the way. With their depth, I like their defense. I mean, they beat Denver. I can think they can beat OKC. They're beatable. Memphis, they're beatable. The Clippers, I think the Rockets can beat that. I think the Rockets beat them before this year. They stay with the Timberwolves, same with the Suns, same with the Lakers too. So I do like the Rockets' chances though, Ralph. I do. People call me crazy. I'm surprised Tate's not even. I mean, I get it because you don't know what shooters you're going to get from the Rockets, but bro, they play defense, and I'm actually interested to see what the Rockets do next week because should they trade or should they keep this depth and ride with it? You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Oh, ride with it, man. You gotta ride with it. I'll give you this: the way they're looking right now, I kind of trust them more as the younger team than the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right.
Mark Donald is running a 14-man rotation.
Look at JP.
Yeah, I know. But Mark Donald's running. And I've been on this the whole rotation at least. Now it's just going to get condensed in the playoffs. Udoka's already playing condensed. Reece Shepard doesn't play. Cam Whitmore doesn't play.
Right.
You know what I mean? McDonald tries to put everyone in there and all. To look how JB was saying about Mazzulla and all. Why you keep playing these? Why are you doing these?
Exactly, JB.
You know what I mean? We all know how a tighter rotation is just going to create more rhythm, more continuity with your team at least. No, I don't trust the Thunder with their 14-man rotation and using Shea to be the whatever it is, the beginning of it. I can't find the term. What I like about the Rockets, though, it could be anybody having a big game. Look what they did to my Saiz last night. Dylan Brooks is a faux pas. I will never believe that's ever going to happen again and all too as well. But Amon Thompson and Jalen Reed can have a big game. Sengun and Van Vliet can have a big game too as well. They got other guys that can have a big game. If it ain't Shea and J-Dub as that number 2 and all, I don't know who's gonna have a big game out of that too as well. It could be a revolving door at least and all. And next thing you know, someone's gonna play that in rotation like Josh Giddey all over again. But that's why I just like your point about the Rockets and all. They got a lot more going offensively, and mind you, they've gone way better offensively than they were in the first half of the season. This could be really who they are right now, the way they're playing offensively and all over the last month. We'll see. We don't know. Yeah, it's a fair point by JB to have that. You don't know if their offense is going to be this good. They've been hot this month. Can it really continue at least? No. But
I
if
haven't made any points about the Western Conference. I think
I want to jump on. I'll give it to you.
House is on fire.
It's a Wild Wild West. God damn it.
Then take it over. Take it over. Your thoughts about
it.
I'll take it over.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I'm going to go the opposite way of Vince and of Ralph. I am not surprised by anything going on in the Western Conference at all. I actually think everybody is exactly where I picked them to sort of be prior to the season. And maybe I didn't get exactly the order right. Maybe I thought that Memphis would be better than Houston. But, like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's within a game. I'm sorry that I got it wrong.
2 games, well, whatever. Yeah.
Well, but again, it's like, whatever. Congratulations for having me in the wrong seeding. But I expected both of them to be second-tier contenders, and that's kind of where I had them.
Yeah.
I expected the Lakers to be better than everybody else, but I didn't think they were a true contender. That's kind of where they are. I expected KCP to hit to be a loss for the Denver Nuggets, and lo and behold, they're not number 1, they're number 4. Like, everything in the Western, and I expected the Thunder to really kick ass with Isaiah Hartenstein, and lo and behold, they're exactly where they are. I suppose where I could get into, jokes and where I could start making.
Here we go,
right?
I mean, I think Phoenix is just. I said that Phoenix was going to suck. I meant it, and so I guess I'm surprised that the Phoenix Suns are at 8 and not at 12, where the San Antonio Spurs are. But like, again, I mean, I guess Kevin Durant still has a little bit left to not be completely out of the playoffs. But those are jokes. Those aren't really. Hot takes.
No.
Right,
Yeah.
JB, you don't give a shit about Nick Richards? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a joke also. It's like trading for Nick Richards and expecting your fortunes to improve also.
It's like Bowl last season, like Vince, man. There was a whole hype about him 2 or 2 seasons ago whenever they picked him up and all. So.
It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. That you would think that Nick Richards is the answer. Nick Richards is the reason that we're all of a sudden that we're all of a sudden better than we were. It's because we traded for the Charlotte Hornets backup center. Now we're ready to go.
And then the next one is going to get Jimmy Butler. You got to be impressed with that. So come on, man.
No, I'm not going to be impressed with that because he does the same thing that Devin Booker does.
Yeah.
They're playing in the same space, doing the same thing. It doesn't. The reason you got Bradley Beal in the first place is because supposedly he plays a different role. He shoots threes, and he doesn't.
He doesn't. No.
Right. Yeah. So, like, again, you're subbing one bad contract for another bad contract. The difference is that this contract doesn't have a no trade clause. That's the difference.
Yeah, good point.
And you can drop it too after next season and all.
And like,
and by the way, Rob, breaking news. He said Bradley Beal said no to the Chicago Bulls. So there you go. He did.
You hear what Windhurst said? I just saw what Windhurst said too as well. The asking price has significantly been lowered by the Miami Heat and all. So
shit.
They do want it done and all. So we'll see. But
right. So back to actual Western. I don't know what Vince means when he says the Clippers aren't cursed. To me, they were cursed before LeBron. They're cursed after LeBron.
Yeah, they are.
They'll continue to be like nothing has changed in our Clippers analysis. They were good, by the way. They were good last year, good enough to make the playoffs. Oh, that's so different than they were, but they are.
Right.
That's so different than it was 2 years ago. The Clippers being worse without Paul George means what? Right.
Yeah.
It means they make the playoffs and then lose in the playoffs. That's so different from how they've been since Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. It's the same story, man. Like, when we say they're going to be worse, that's assuming that they ever had a chance at winning a championship in the first place, which they didn't, right?
No,
so, what do you mean when you say they were going to be worse? Well, they're going to be the 7th seed instead of the 6th seed. Who cares? What difference does it make? And ultimately, this is how I feel mostly with the Western Conference from, let's say, 5 to about 8. Right.
08.
5. Well, you see, you're going all the way to 12.
Yeah.
I don't give the Warriors any chance because, lo and behold, Steph Curry ages like the rest of us.
Yeah,
right.
true.
Like, he's 35 going on 36. Like, he's not the same as he was. Oh,
No,
really?
he's not. Yeah.
You're just figuring that out? I give the Mavericks no chance. I gave them no chance in the offseason preview.
Yes,
when
you
I talked
did.
about the hype, and I've given them no chance on the Vince Saiz podcast. And for anybody
Yes, you did.
in future podcasts, I'm still going to give them no chance because the moment they take a playoff series court, they are going to be starting on defense Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson.
That's bad.
They're
Yeah.
poison as to who I'm lighting up every single time. like I'm not This isn't competition. I'm going to be able to blow by all three of those guys all year. In a 7-game series. They're not the reality. That's not the reality of the way things work. You need to be able to play both sides of the ball. As far as the Lakers go, because I know we love Lakers talk, they need a guard that is going to balance that rotation.
There you go. Bingo.
I know you want a big man. I got it. Anthony Davis is complaining about wanting a big man like he has his entire career.
2020, yep.
You need a guard who is going to balance the rotation. You need somebody who
Play
can
make.
play defense on
You
both
need a
sides
guard that can play make. That's been my thing for 2 3
and play defense and both things.
Yeah,
right?
both.
Is it fair to say Bruce Brown as that one?
No.
It's not fair because Bruce Brown is making $20 million. I don't know.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying because he reminds you of Caruso and KCP, but I'm thinking of someone like Rondo, and I know Rondo can on trees and all, but I feel like you guys need a point guard that can do what JB's saying, play defense and get your offense all set up. And
that's the reason why I can't
like that.
Because trading for Tyus Jones doesn't solve the problem.
No.
Trading for Gabe Vincent doesn't solve the problem, right? You need essentially a fusion of both those players. Now, who's out there to do that, right? I don't know if there's anybody out there to do it, but I trust that the Lakers and Rob Lowe are trying to go out and search for it.
Vincent said the name. Sexton is the name and all. That's the only guy I can think of in the market.
See, the only way, and listen, I doubt it happened, but the only way if I'm giving up a first-round pick is Sexton and Kessler's got to be in there. That's the only way. That's the only way.
Well, if you're able to cure both needs, then we will have an emergency pod with water.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
But color me skeptical that you're going to get
Exactly.
Rob Lowe's not selling out. So Rob Lowe's not selling out.
Yeah, Rob Lowe's not going to do it, and neither is Rob Pelinka. But both of them are not going to do it if you offer it.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. I'm not trying to be stupid here, because I've seen some fans saying this guy, and it wouldn't surprise me if he can get it. He's 34 years old. I get it. He's stressed on defense, but
Chris Paul.
No, it's not Chris Paul. It's the center from the Bulls, actually. Why do fans like him?
Vucevic. Did I get it?
What's that, though?
He can play defense.
Right. Again, you need a guard, Guard, who can also play make for you. You need both things.
You should be looking into Lonzo Ball. I just don't know if he can legitimately play 30 minutes in the basketball game.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's another guy that fits is what I'm talking.
I like him, but can he stay healthy?
Yeah. I don't know if he can play 30 minutes right now. You guys,
if it were 5 years ago, you could have been looking into Mike Conley. But no, now you can't look into him. So
that's what you guys are missing is that type of guard and all, like that guy who can be the top end of your defense at least, guard the point guard on the other side, and then as soon as the what's it called there, you got a shot or a rebound, give it to him.
Yeah. But hey, Ralph, we got one more day. We'll see what Rob Lowe got. He got Shake Milton, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing the Sixers.
We're playing.
We're playing his former team. We're playing Shake Milton's former team, the Sixers tonight. So there you go.
Look, ultimately, to answer Ralph's original question, I'm not really surprised by the Western Conference. I think everybody landed where I expect them to land, even if the seeding isn't perfect. I think that everything that is the Western Conference right now is going to continue to be the Western Conference going forward. I do think that Derek White and Sam Hauser would have been worth a 3-point swing last night.
Of course. Derek White would have been huge last night, man. Come on.
Yeah, and I think that when your guys are suddenly hot out of nowhere, that you don't sit them on the fucking bench. It's fucking nonsense. I get it that they need rest. I understand. The idea that you're
I'm not saying rest, just they're managing. To what Vince said about JJ Redick, trying to play around with your rotations and all like that.
So reduce their minutes. Don't sit them. They just had an awesome game against the Mavericks. So since we're over the 2-hour mark in this podcast, I just want to say that thank you guys for having me on. I still have the Thunder and the Celtics in the championship. I like the Celtics to win it all. And go ahead, Vince.
Thank you, Ralph, for inviting me to your show. I'm looking forward to our picks for next week, Super Bowl week. By the way, breaking news: my father will be on the show in about pretty much in 40 at 11 p.m. No, I'm sorry, 11 a.m. Eastern time on the Vince Saiz Good Morning Sports Show. I'm looking forward to that, and it's going to be very entertaining. So get ready for that. But other than that, JB and Rob, I love y'all. We always love entertaining the audience, keeping it real. And yeah, man, thank you, Ralph, and thank you, JB, for your time.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Peace.
Yeah, I just cleaned it up. I'm not sure what happened there. I'll fix it up.